What's up, my friends in the film fandom, wherever you may be and however you may be watching? Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time. Planning to go over today some movie news, saying goodbye to a Hollywood legend, and of course we're breaking down all the trailers that we did and one of them that we didn't get during the Super Bowl last Sunday. Here to go over all that cool shit with me are my cool co-host. Lady Corrin right now is not with us today. She is actually in the process of making a move, doing some stuff, but we're looking forward to having her back next week, for those of you who are wondering. But here with me is my hetero life mate, Jeremy. What's going on, brother?
Not much. I got new band things, so I figured you would appreciate that.
It's the good band.
Yeah. Well, we got a see their American flag back there and the signed posters. So, all the good stuff today.
All the good stuff. And, of course, our good friend from down south, the Shape from the Lone Star State, our man Tex. What's up, brother?
Well, since we're showing off wall art, you can see the beautiful picture of the greatest athlete ever, the great Dale Earnhardt Intimidator. And just above it is the future World Series champion Texas Rangers. So suck on it, Frank. But, yeah, what's up, everybody?
I know you weren't talking to me.
How soon in the future?
This year. Hopefully this year. Maybe.
This year.
Please, dear God, this year. Please, we need one. But, it's all good. What's up, everybody? Hope y'all are doing well.
They need something to look forward to in Texas, after all.
Hey, at least I have power at my house. So how about that?
I have power. I just didn't have it for 4 or 5 hours yesterday. I am a West Coast city kid through and through, but I'm not going to lie to you. I was without power from I want to say about 1 or 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon to midnight last night, and I did not miss it for a second. Not for a second.
Yeah, it's kind of refreshing, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's like I did. Well, for one, I wasn't home for a good piece of it. I went last night and saw Pooh, Blood, and Honey. Well, I'll probably have a sit down after Tex has had a chance to watch it. Maybe Jeremy, if he can pull himself to the theater to see it.
I'll be seeing it this week.
Maybe we'll do a video, kind of giving you a little bit of a breakdown. But
well, see, I was going to say, Tex, you don't have acid rain now, do you? We got you. Me and Frank got you there.
We got that acid rain.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, shout out to all the people in East Palestine, Ohio, who are doing that right now. But yeah, I honestly, yesterday was a weird day. It was like 72 degrees at one point around here, Jeremy. I don't know what it was. I know you don't live too far away, but I mean, you're close enough to where weather is roughly the same. It was like 70-something degrees all day yesterday. So when the power went out, I grabbed a book that I had been sitting on my shelf for like a year and a half, and I just hadn't got a chance to start reading yet. It's the newest Robert Langdon book called Origin. For those of you who've watched Da Vinci Code and all that, it's the newest Dan Brown book with Robert Langdon. I sat down on my patio and started reading it last night. And last night it was in the mid-50s until about midnight. I went outside, threw a little bit of wood in the fire and set a fire and just sat out there and poured me a glass of bourbon and just looked at the stars for like 3 hours.
There you go.
It was peaceful. And I remember it's like there was a couple of my lights in my house that were on. And then out of nowhere behind me, I saw lights started coming all over my house. And I was kind of like, oh, really? You could just wait until like 2 a.m. It's like, you can just give me a couple more hours of peace. But, I ended up
Frank goes back inside and flips the breaker off. Oh, guess it's still not working, guys. Sorry, whatever.
No power. But
it was for the apocalypse to come closer this way to really have our peace and quiet.
Yeah, no doubt. But Jennifer was saying, why do you buy candles? I'm like, this is why, because you needed to see to get around the house. I had one in the bathroom, one in each bedroom. That's how we saw until the girls went to bed last night. But so that's why, short programming note, I'm glad you guys mentioned that actually. We were planning on doing a episode 5 breakdown last night of The Last of Us. Obviously that didn't happen because of me not having power. So basically what's going to happen is next week we're going to do a double episode. We're going to break down episodes 5 and 6. It'll be sometime, probably Tuesday is my guess. Somewhere in the 8:30 time range. So for those of you who are wondering where our Last of Us episode was this week, that's why it's not going to happen this week. It was all scheduled for last night. Transformer blew, power went out in this section of town, and that's why it didn't happen. But we will catch you.
Michael Bay.
Yeah, we will. We will talk about episode 5 and 6 next week. It'll just be a double episode.
Frank was not lost in the darkness. He didn't even try to look for the light.
I didn't even try to look for the light. The light just shows me all the shit that I don't want to see.
Yeah, that's fair.
But plenty to talk about. The first story is a sad one. We have to say goodbye to yet another Hollywood legend. It's Raquel Welch, the actor who became an icon and sex symbol thanks to films like 1 Million Years BC and The Three Musketeers, passed away Wednesday in Los Angeles after a brief illness. She was 82. She came into the movie scene in 1966 with the sci-fi film Fantastic Voyage and the prehistoric adventure 1 Million Years BC, the latter of which established her as one of the great sex symbols of all time. The actor had no regrets about her career, but looks back at her sex symbol years with mixed feelings. She told the AP in an interview, quote, "I enjoy the fact that I was celebrated in that capacity. It was limiting, though. But the truth of the matter is that because my look was kind of exotic, I was never going to get cast in all the roles that I would like to get cast in." Tex, did you have a picture of lovely Raquel in your room as a teenager, like both Andy Dufresne and
there was.
Man. Right.
There were many times that a younger Tex enjoyed her craft, I guess is a nice way to say that she was a hot piece of ass. But yeah, yeah, of course she's one of those timeless beauties that everybody talks about. You know, I would argue if you did like a top 10 list of hottest actresses of all time, she's making the list because she even knew, sex sells. And once she hit, she was never the strongest actress, but some women just have so strong of a look that there's no denying it. And that's the kind of beauty that she had. Personally, my favorite role for her was actually in the original Bedazzled. Obviously they did the remake in, I guess, the early 2000s or whatever. Mm-hmm. But that original Bedazzled film is actually a pretty good movie. And, I think the only other movie, I've seen her in a few, but I'd say my favorites were probably Bedazzled and the Naked Gun, whichever Naked Gun she was in. I can't remember which one it was. But no, Raquel Welch is, just gorgeous. Just put that picture back up there and you could see, like, my God, if you don't think that's hot, you probably live in Southern California. You know what I mean? But, yeah, just absolutely drop dead gorgeous, She will be missed, but hey, 82 years, can't complain, man.
Yeah, she was a little before all of our times, really. But she was one of those. She was one of those faces and one of those images that just kind of it stood the test of time. And you would look back at her like we today look back on like Katharine Hepburn or Ava Gabor or one of those actresses from the 40s all the way up until about the mid 70s. It's like women today are hot. But women back then were intimidatingly beautiful. Like they would walk into a room and the strongest guy would just melt. I don't know, Jeremy, like I said, a little bit before all of our ages, but she's a person who has kind of transcended the generations. What are some of your thoughts on Raquel Welch?
Yeah, and I know, dude, still looks fucking gorgeous.
Still smoking hot right there.
Yeah, are you kidding me? Right. Yeah. Jesus, man. I wish I looked that good at 82. God damn.
I would get that woman a drink right now. Like, let's go, honey. Let's get out of here.
Right. I know Morgan Freeman was talking about Rita Hayworth, but it's like you can't deny. You walk in a room, it's like, man, I love when she does that shit with her hair. Yeah, I know. I've seen the movie like 4 times this week. Yeah. But yeah, that's I would say the Million Years BC is the first thing I thought of. I had my back to the TV when I heard this. All I heard was Raquel, and I knew. I was like, oh, no. I turned around, and there's that poster. I was like, oh, my God, Andy Dufresne is going to be pissed. So I'm like, yeah, well, that was a good poster to pick. So, yeah, whether, like you said, you live in Texas or you live in a prison in upstate Maine,
right.
She's somebody to have on your wall, trust me.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
Yeah, again, she's just one of those actresses, a different generation. Just like actresses today, they're, like I said, they're sexy and they're hot, but there's an elegance that came from that era of filmmaking, especially with the actresses that just they can't be matched these days. I mean, there's no. I mean, like I said, I mean, if you look at like Hepburn, Gabor, if you look at like God, who was in Hell's Angels? She died young. Why would I draw a blank in her name? Not May. But anyway, it's like the actresses of that time, they were just at another level. It's like nowadays, because famous people at that time, period, they were kind of like larger than life. They didn't run the same circles as normal people. Nowadays, you can go to LA and you can see like, whatever actress, sipping on a latte at Starbucks. but it was like then it's like actors and actresses, especially the really gorgeous actresses, they were just so unattainable. I mean, they were at a level that felt like nobody could reach. I don't know.
It's funny. I was sitting here with Marilyn Monroe in my mind. I just realized behind Frank's head there is Marilyn right on the wall. That's what I was thinking about. Yeah.
I mean, to kind of add on to what you said, Frank, we live in a time of a lot of people are in film and television, but few are movie stars. People talk about people like Tom Cruise or, like a Brad Pitt even, maybe like a Johnny Depp is like the last movie stars. Then you have just the rest of the crop. And, with somebody like Raquel Welch on the beauty side of it, she's, if you saw a lineup of 100 pretty girls, you could be able to pick her picture out. You would know who she was just from that one picture. And most of her roles or her, really important ones were decades ago, but her look persisted throughout time. I mean, her beauty was so powerful. It survived the decades and the eras. I mean, so hey, call it what you will, sexism or being a toxic male or whatever nonsense term you need to throw on it. But hey, that's something to be celebrated, I'd say.
Yeah, but definitely sad, the passing of another great Hollywood legend. Whenever this happens, I say the same thing: go backwards and watch some of this old stuff. I've been going through the James Bond movies one by one slowly over the last couple of weeks, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, good God, the film had such a different quality then. It's right. And I actually think that Raquel Welch I think was in the running to be a Bond girl at one point.
I was gonna say she looks like she could be a Bond girl.
I thought she was a Bond girl.
I don't know.
I'm drawing a blank. Let me look and see.
She looks like she could be one. So
I swore she was one. I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, like Jeremy said, if she wasn't, she should have been a Bond girl.
My God,
the one movie that I was reminded of reading this article is that she was in a movie where she was one of the like a roller girl back in the '70s, the early '70s, when the roller derbies.
Roller derby,
yeah.
And I was reminded of that movie, and I remember the movie from when I was a kid, from like seeing it on TV or different theaters and stuff. I don't remember ever seeing it, but it's like I remember watching Whip It that came out with Drew Barrymore a long time ago. And like thinking that movie was pretty wild and actually really I really enjoyed it for being kind of a kind of independent film. Let me look at this real quick to make sure. Filmography. I'm not seeing anything Bond. She was in the original Bedazzled in 1967.
Yeah.
I thought she maybe had been a Bond girl at one point.
I could have put that together in my head that she was, but she always reminded me of a Bond girl. I don't know. It's one of those things.
She was in Naked Gun 33 1/3. Though.
Was it 33 1/3?
That's I knew she was in one, and that was always my favorite one of the Naked Gun film, but I couldn't remember which one it was.
She also had that small role in Legally Blonde, like at the end of the movie.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
That movie was kind of funny for being kind of a chick flick. She was in McHale's Navy. She did a lot of TV too. She was in McHale's Navy. She did a couple episodes of Bewitched.
I didn't know she was on Bewitched. That's great.
She had some different stuff going on over the years. She was in a very famous episode of Seinfeld called The Summer of George. That was one of the. She actually. No, she didn't. What did she do? She did Lois and Clark: The New Adventures, which I was like, man, whatever. I wasn't a big fan of that series anyway. But yeah, I mean, not a Bond girl, but very easily could have been. Not to mention that, I mean, she became a pretty successful businesswoman. She created her own line of like hair and makeup products that were tremendously popular from the 1980s on up till today. I think this in the last couple of years, she added like a whole new line of stuff to her makeup line. So I mean, making women beautiful like her for decades after her
giving them the illusion that they had a chance. Yeah.
It's like,
when the bar is set that high.
I'm gonna let you think you can be as pretty as me, but
it's gonna be like Michael Jordan having a basketball camp guaranteeing you'll be as good as him. That's what she was doing to these women.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely very unfortunate. We've lost another great Hollywood legend. So let us know down in the chat. Give us some of your memories of Raquel Welch. For some reason, I always thought she was also in Charlie's Angels. That was Farrah Fawcett. It took me a minute.
That was Farrah Fawcett. That was another.
The other one with
that was hair. Another chick with great hair, as I've coined on this show. You know what I mean?
60s and 70s women. God, so sexy. So sexy.
You look at Marilyn Burns. Look at Marilyn Burns and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If that don't put a hitch in your giddy up, you don't like chicks. All right, I got news for you. So
I'd swing a chainsaw at her. Shit.
I'd try to murder her with a wood cutting implement.
Yeah.
But go down the comments below. Let us know what you guys think about the passing of Raquel Welch. I almost said Farrah Fawcett because I was thinking about that again. But let's see. What is our next story today? Actually, we did get our first big look at the Joker Folie à Deux, or whatever the hell they're calling it.
Yeah, whatever that nonsense name is.
It's
Lady Gaga finally got her close-up in the Joker Folie à Deux, with filmmaker Todd Phillips sharing a first look at her character on Instagram. Naturally, it was for Valentine's Day. Gaga is believed to be playing DC mainstay Harley Quinn in the sequel to the Joker, the 2019 film that grossed $1 billion and earned star Joaquin Phoenix a Best Acting Oscar. Filming is underway in New York and Los Angeles as it heads towards its October 4th, 2024 release date from Warner Brothers. Gaga previously worked with Phillips on A Star is Born, which he was a producer on, and won all kinds of awards and was critically acclaimed by fans all over the place. I actually thought it was a very good movie. Jeremy, what did you think of this first picture of Lady Gaga in the Joker?
I mean, it doesn't really tell me anything. Okay. I don't know. As far as the casting, I mean, I'm not upset. That's pretty cool, and especially since this is supposed to be a musical or something to that.
Well, Todd Phillips came out and said that this is not going to be a musical, but there's going to be a couple of weirdly placed musical numbers. So so what I'm envisioning in my head right now is that it's going to be kind of like what the first one was. Like a lot of this is going to take place in his head, maybe. And so it might be this famous thing that turns into a musical number in his head rather than the movie actually being a musical.
He finds out he's not actually dating Domino.
Yeah,
poor guy. Damn. I don't know. It's a cool shot. I mean, if she's supposed to be Harley Quinn, because I'm like, don't make me choose between Gaga and Margot Robbie now. Please don't make me do that.
That's an easy choice, Margot Robbie.
I know. I'm like, I can't. I'm not gonna like undermine Lady Gaga, but I'm like, but Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn for me. So I don't know. It's a cool shot. I don't really. She's not like in makeup or anything, and he looks pretty disheveled. I mean, he looks like he's been through the ringer now as Joker, and it looks like there's something on her face. Like maybe that looks like that was like
it looks like blood.
Yeah, I'm like, or it's his makeup because it looks like maybe they shared a kiss and she has that moment, where it's like, oh my god, I love this man.
Could be
because it looks like it might have rubbed off on her face. It was like a little blip of it on her nose. I don't know. Yeah, so like I said, it doesn't really tell me much more. It just kind of gives more confirmation that she's there. But like we said, this could be all in his head. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe it's a joke and we don't get it.
Not anyway.
As long as the next cigarette, you wouldn't get it. I don't know. I want to see how this plays out.
Well, yeah, that's the interesting thing is I kind of, part of me really wants this to be a little bit of a character study about her. Because we got that in the first movie. We got to see his descent into madness, into becoming the villain that we all know as Joker. We've never really seen outside the animated stuff, really. I mean, they kind of alluded to it a little bit in like Suicide Squad or some of the DC, the Snyderverse stuff. But they haven't really explored it. How she
in the video games.
Yeah, well, the video games, yeah, but a lot of people that have seen the movies haven't really played the video games.
Yeah.
So maybe a lot of this movie is going to focus on her transition from Dr. Quinzel to Harley Quinn. And if that's the case, I think that's actually kind of smart because that's kind of what they did with the Joker character in the first movie. And that movie turned out great. It made $1 billion, was a very, very good film. Not a great comic book movie, like I said, but a great film.
We did end on him allegedly being, I don't know if that's Arkham, but like he was in some sort of psych ward. Maybe that seemed like it was real, or maybe that was him recounting the story to this new therapist or whoever. And he had bloody footprints at the end. Maybe he killed her. I don't know. That whole movie's just, but maybe then we see her introduced as, we all know the story. She is his psychiatrist or whatever, and ends up falling in love with him. So maybe that's where that could go. It could end off where we left him. And yeah, I mean, I could see that being the story. Maybe actually taking place instead of, again, just some joke that we don't understand, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know. Tex, what do you think? I mean, I think there's not much to this picture right now, but it is interesting to kind of get the first image. It makes this thing tangible that this second movie is actually filming. What did you think of the image?
Well, like I said, as far as just the image alone goes, yeah, it looks like she's up against the wall and she is embracing him like they either just kissed or they're about to, or, who knows what. I mean, maybe this scene happened. Maybe it didn't happen. This, with this, if the first film is to be believed as the guide for what the second one will be, everything is up for interpretation at this point. So, I mean, whenever you have professional film reviewers like, well, maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. I mean, who knows? I honestly, I think the only people who know what actually happened in that film are Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix themselves. Everybody else is just picking their own version.
We just don't get it.
But I'm curious about, I mean, Jeremy would know more, would know what I'm talking about here, but how much of the origin story of Mad Love are they going to pull from for this movie? Because, I mean, that was, the comic book that introduced Harley Quinn and Batman the Animated Series. I've always wanted a Mad Love movie between Joker and Harley. And obviously in the first Suicide Squad film, we got part of that story. We didn't get all of it, but the original cut of the Suicide Squad, the Ayer cut, was supposed to have more. Apparently there was enough Joker and Harley scenes to make a whole nother movie out of. So I'm wondering if this film, Joker Folie à Deux or whatever it's called. I'm just calling it Joker 2 because I don't sound like an idiot when I say it. So Joker 2, I wonder if they're going to pull from that Mad Love storyline where, she's trying to cure him, but he gets in her head and blah, 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 whatever. I don't know how much podcast y'all listen to, but there's actually a podcast out right now put out by DC where Christina Ricci voices Harley Quinn, and they have not Troy Baker, but Justin Hartley and voicing Batman. It's a Harley Quinn podcast where it's her origins, but in podcast form. It's on Spotify and stuff. It's actually pretty good. I've been listening to it. It's like 20 minutes at a time episodes. But I'm very curious. Like, I'm leery about this movie because I hate musicals. Musicals suck. I don't like any of them. But it intrigues me because it's a DC product, and at the same time, yeah, Joker 1 was not a comic book film, but it was a good one. What kind of madness are we going to see with this one? So I'm kind of morbidly curious with it to see where it goes. And I just hope they don't go too heavy with the musical side. That's all I can hope for.
I mean, it was the One Bad Day story from the comics,
right?
Essentially.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, I don't know how much, because like you said, it could just go right into the Mad Love storyline too, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, Joker's, obviously Todd Phillips doesn't mind making his own canon for the Joker. I mean, Arthur Fleck was never a thing prior to that movie. So,
Yeah, I don't remember what the guy's name was in the comic book, but like he was like
I don't think they even said his actual name, did they?
Well, he was like a failed musician instead of like a failed clown performer. So it's kind of the same
Wasn't
thing.
He a failed comic?
In the movie, he was.
Well, I thought like in the comic.
Oh yeah. In the animated film, he was okay. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. It's been a while. The comic, he was like a musician or something that was failing, and just everything in his life was going wrong, and it just, like I said, that little bit just pushed you right over the edge.
All it takes is one bad day. Yeah.
That's what the tagline was. Yeah. So just takes one day.
Honestly, okay, see, here's the thing, though. Obviously, Joaquin Phoenix is a great actor, but Mark Hamill has been voicing Joker for so long. I would be much more open to a Mark Hamill-led Joker movie like they've done with him instead of Joaquin Phoenix. They're both older actors, so, you can't tell me it's an age thing. You know what I mean?
You could put him and Tara Strong in the roles. Fuck it. Why not?
Right. Are you kidding me? Like, yes, please, take all my money. Lady Gaga, she's a good actress. She's been good in the American Horror Story. Probably her best work was either Roanoke or The Hotel, when she did real good in that one as well.
I didn't like Hotel. I thought Hotel was kind of drab. I kind of lost it about halfway through that.
It started well.
It didn't start. About halfway through, I just got kind of bored with it.
Well, to be honest, besides the first 3 seasons, every season of American Horror Story, halfway through, they've completely lost the narrative, and they're just doing random crap episode to episode. But that's just the way that show is. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of morbidly intrigued with this Joker Follow You Do. What's this going to be? I mean, this image doesn't give us much, and honestly, I'm not sure I want to see anything going into it because it's probably going to be fake or, misleading or something. You know what I mean?
At least it's not that video game that's out right now that everyone thinks is fake, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it is, but I don't know. You can keep showing me a trailer, even though you copied the Call of Duty Zombies trailer. I still think you're fake.
Well, first off, Joaquin Phoenix and Mark Hamill are nowhere near the same age. Mark Hamill's 71 and Joaquin Phoenix is 48.
Well, he looks 70. Come on, look at him in Joker 1.
He can look 70.
And tell me he doesn't look old. 70.
He can look. You can make anything.
I would still take a Mark Hamill at 70 than a Joaquin Phoenix at 50. I'll take a Mark Hamill.
But like I said, it's different Jokers. So it's like, would you want Mark Hamill to go play the kind of Joker that he had been voicing in the animated stuff for years? I mean, maybe not. It would be a different Joker. It all depends on what you want the character to be. Right. I really like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. Like I said, I liked that it was more of a character study the first movie. It wasn't really a comic book movie per se, like what we're used to.
There's nothing about it that's a comic book movie.
Right.
It was a character study, a man's slow descent. I said when I did my review for this years ago when it came out, have you ever seen that movie? Was it? God damn, why am I drawing a blank on it? Michael Douglas.
One of
my favorite movies.
Wall Street?
No, not Wall Street. The one where he's going through LA.
Oh,
Taxi Driver.
No, Taxi Driver.
Wait, no, that was
that's De Niro.
De Niro, yeah.
That's a descent into madness.
Why am I drawing a blank?
See, because I got Taxi Driver vibes more than anything. That was pretty much like a ripoff of that movie in a lot of ways.
Because I mean, at the end, was it in his head? Was it not?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like there was a lot of Taxi Driver in that movie.
God, that's a good movie.
I haven't seen that since probably Joker 1 when I went back and rewatched it just to see how close it was.
Falling Down is the name of the movie.
I would never have guessed
that. But like, no, that's what I said though. It's like the Joker was falling down with face paint. It was this guy who was kind of on the verge, but something happens that just kind of pushes him off the edge to one side of the fence or the other, and he happens to land on the side of the fence where he loses his fucking mind and think, he starts getting crazy. Same thing with Michael Douglas in that movie, Falling Down. He's just a regular guy who's been dealing with the stresses of life, and then early in the movie he just snaps, and that's what leads him through that whole journey that movie is through LA and all the stuff that goes on in that movie, which is a fantastic movie, by the way. It's one of my favorite movies. Right. But that's what it was. It was similar characters, obviously very similar, different backgrounds and stuff, very similar characters. Somebody who was on the edge, who gets pushed over by all these things that were not necessarily his fault, but they were just what the things that happen in life. But I don't know. I'm interested. I think it'll be, like I said, I think this movie will be strongest if they focus on her descent into madness, and Joker is just there as kind of a I don't want to say mentor because I don't know if that's the right. If that's the right
an enabler,
right term.
He's more like a tour guide than a mentor.
Yeah, maybe
he's like leading the way.
Yeah, both those could be fair things. But I think it would be interesting to see kind of the impact he has on her. Like maybe her curiosity gets the best of her, and while she's curious about what makes a person mad, that it triggers things in her, and then he just happens to be there to pull her into the abyss that makes her.
He's already gone.
Quinn. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm interested. I'm not too freaked out over this one image. She doesn't look that great. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't know how great
she just looks like Lady Gaga. I'm like, okay, cool.
She looks like.
I will ask this though: since Joaquin Phoenix's Joker looked drastically different from anything we've ever gotten before, how different do you think her Harley Quinn will be?
Ooh.
Like if you had to take a guess.
See, that's what I was worried about. I don't know.
Well, I mean, are we going to see the Daddy's Little Monster T-shirt, or are we going to see the white
maybe not that?
Oh, please,
devil pigtails? Because remember, the Joker's look is, I don't want to say a clown look. It's just kind of what comes along with him being the clown in the movie, anyway, if not some of the other material. But for the purposes of the movie, it's really just all about him being a clown. So he's really just wearing a clown suit. He's not it's not like the Joker from the Dark Knight series where he's got all the stuff custom made and all that. It's not like Cesar Romero's Joker in the Batman TV series.
It's not like he had scars he had to cover up.
His the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, you could never believe him taking on a Batman. He's not strategic. He's not smart enough. He's not physically capable. That Joker would never survive in a world where a Batman was after him.
He even said it, come on, do I look like the kind of clown who can start a movement?
Right. I mean, every other version we've gotten of Joker, from Nicholson to freaking Suicide Squad Joker, is a credible threat. Joaquin Phoenix only works in a world where there's no psychotic rich guy who punches bad guys in the face.
Well, to be fair, would you really think that Romero would take on Adam West Batman? I mean, in a fight?
In the way it was portrayed in the 60s, yeah.
60s,
yeah.
Given the circumstances of that show, yeah. Because, I mean, he had the toys to go with it. Joaquin Phoenix toys? Joker didn't. He was just, the only thing he had was a snub-nosed pistol that shot 7 rounds but only holds 6, so go figure. But hey, that's movies.
Well, Nicholson had one in a barrel that was like that damn long.
Where does he get those wonderful toys?
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm interested. I want to see more. I want to see a legit trailer come out at some point. I want to see some more set pictures to kind of get an idea as to what this look is going to be exactly. But I mean,
you may not get much more. I mean, you said next year, October
2024. Yeah, so we're looking at a year.
Geez, a long way away.
A year and a half at least.
I mean, just to give us one picture now, and I'm like, what do you think we're even gonna get?
Jeez. Yeah, I imagine it's probably going to be another year before we even. I would imagine like next Super Bowl would be when we see maybe
trailer,
a first trailer. I mean, that's still 10 months out though.
Yeah.
So
I don't think, because I mean, what is it, about 3 months that they normally release a trailer before a movie? I'd say maybe June or July you might get a trailer for it. Honestly.
That actually sounds about right, because because July of 2024 would be Comic-Con. And that'd be a place where you would drop the first trailer anyway.
Yeah.
So Comic-Con next summer would probably be a place where we would expect to see if not a first trailer, somewhere around there we'd start to see a lot more publicity stuff, a lot more stills, a trailer, maybe even a short teaser, posters, that kind of thing. We'll start to see the marketing ramp up right around then. But I'm interested in seeing this. Again, it's just one picture. It could be a significant part of the movie. It could not be. I don't really know. They've made a lot of fun of it online, of course. Somebody said that it looks like the Joker found her G-spot. I was like, well, that might be what's happening in the movie.
He woke something in her, I'm telling you.
That might be what we see in this.
That's the whole story.
I don't know, but go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think of the first image of Joker Folie à Deux. The one thing I find interesting about this, though, before I forget to bring this up, is Folie à Deux. I don't know if you guys know this or not. It is a
madness of two, isn't it?
Well, no. More specifically, it's a reference to a medical term for an identical or similar mental disorder impacting 2 or more people, usually members of the same family.
Ooh. Okay.
So I'm like, okay.
So are we going to have kids and cousins in this movie, or are they going to?
So this is down in Alabama, huh?
But wouldn't that?
Are they going to turn the lights off at the family reunion and find a girlfriend, or what?
I mean, Arthur Fleck is pretty insane to think that he's bumping uglies with his own relative. But would it be outside of the realm of possibility for this guy? I mean, who knows?
Maybe that's the picture. They're kissing cousins. No.
Or maybe somebody else.
What kind of cousins are they? Oh, Lord. If they do that, please give them the most redneck accents possible. Make them straight up hillbilly if they do that, please. That would be hilarious.
Change that Brooklyn accent to a Southern accent. I don't think I'm going to give that.
Gotham? Is there a large Louisiana population in Gotham?
They start playing the music from Deliverance, that banjo music, anytime they're on the same scene as together.
Anyway,
let me hear you squeal, boy.
Go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys thought of this image from Lady Gaga, the first image from Joker Folie à Deux. Anyway, moving on to our next topic, and that, my friends, is Deadpool 3. We got some more casting news. Let's see, Deadpool 3's casting is up, and Emma Corrin is joining Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman in the feature. Reynolds announced this Tuesday on his Twitter, saying, a new addition to the family, the Deadpool family for clarity, which is just like a real family except with less swearing. Welcome, Emma Corrin. Details were not revealed, but she is believed to be playing the villain. Corrin is known for The Crown, with her work as Princess Diana earning an Emmy nomination. She's also delved in the comic book space before with work on the Batman TV prequel Pennyworth. Tex, what do you think of Emma Corrin playing a role in the Deadpool sequel?
See, I saw this on Twitter, and I knew nothing about this woman prior to seeing this announcement. But apparently, the role she's playing, what's the name, Jeremy? What's the name of that room that the X-Men train in? The Danger Room. Apparently, she's being rumored to play that character Danger. That somehow she turns into that room or something. I forget what the connection is. I'm not as deep into my X-Men lore, but I mean, obviously she's a quality actress. Like I said, I looked her up at kind of after what I saw or whatever. The villains within the problem with Deadpool is he's such an overpowering character, and then plus adding Hugh Jackman Wolverine to it, whoever the villain is not going to get any attention. So, I mean, that's why I think they kind of maybe picked her to play this role, because nobody knows anything about it, really, besides the hardcore X-Men fans. So, you know, I mean, honestly, when you're watching Deadpool 3, are you going to see what her character's doing? Or, hey, where's Hugh Jackman Wolverine? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, now that being said, this is an opportunity to really, for her to prove her chops of how big of an actress she can be. If you can pull screen time away from Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds in the same film, you've done something. So, you know, she's got the acting chops. She played Princess Diana. She did all these things. I mean, she's got a mountain of work ahead of her, but, you know, hey, good luck, because this is probably going to be the best Deadpool movie we've got. I mean, for years we've been wanting Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, and Ryan Reynolds together. And, you know, she's joining the best Deadpool movie she probably could, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Jeremy, what do you think? I mean, they haven't said what villain she's playing yet. Somebody out there was talking about her playing Squirrel Girl, which I think is a bit too silly, even for Deadpool. But I mean, I said, I think it's a bit too silly for Deadpool. But the reality is, there's already a lot that I'm hearing about this movie that's going to make this movie just kind of off the chain anyway. But I mean, what villain do you think she could be playing? Because you can't just have scrawny ass little Emma Corrin out there trying to fight the merc with the mouth Deadpool. She's gonna have to play somebody significant, maybe another mutant. I don't know. What kind of villain do you see her playing?
Oh, I don't know. I'm fine with Squirrel Girl. Honestly, you know what happens if you Google how Squirrel Girl defeats Thanos? It literally tells you she just does, and you don't have to ask why. They don't have to. No, she just does, and you just have to know that she does. That's it.
2 words: plot armor. That's all you need.
Yeah, because who cares? Like I said, that in itself sounds very Deadpool. It's like, who cares? Yeah, she did it. I've seen so much fan art of Squirrel Girl, like with the stones and shit, and this big purple guy back there laying on his ass. I'm like, yeah. As for villains, I don't know. Like you said, I don't. It was like when we were trying to watch. Again, as much I know, I said I was Team Shuri for Black Panther. I'm like, yeah, but you're like 100 pounds. I don't know how I'm gonna take you seriously trying to beat on, Namor, or hell, even Kang the Conqueror now, if that's ever gonna cross paths.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know really villains for Deadpool that I don't know, because when you think about it, Cable's not technically like a bad guy either. He's just kind of an anti-hero, just doing what he needs to do. But I mean,
see, this is the thing about Deadpool, though. He's the villain of his. He's the villain of his own story. Normally, he encounters other heroes more than he does other villains. That's what makes it such of a weird complex.
Well, does he though? Because he went up to the X-Men house, and he was like, "Damn, this place is empty." It's like he couldn't afford more. Whatever. Walks off. I don't know.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah, but there's actually more news that has come out about this movie in the last 24 hours or so. I heard John Campbell talk about this earlier. Did you realize somebody asked Patrick Stewart if he was going to be in Deadpool, and he was quoted as saying something along the lines of, "They told me to be on standby."
Uh-oh.
Ooh, really?
Uh-oh.
Look, he could be full of shit. He could be yanking our chain. Maybe
will he be wearing a neck brace?
Maybe they called him and said, "Hey, yeah."
You.
Maybe they called him and said, "Hey, if they come ask you this question, then give him the brush off, but give him an answer that's going to make him think. So that way it kind of head fakes him in one direction or another. They won't really know what the hell we're doing. But not only that, apparently there is some shit floating around out there, and I didn't get a chance to watch all this stuff on John Campea earlier, but there's also a chance that Ian McKellen could show up as Magneto in this movie.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And
to me, I'm like, well, if you're going to say that Deadpool, look, because obviously Marvel's doing this whole multi-dimensional, multi-universal, whatever the fuck nonsense thing they're doing now, as it was evident by what's happened in the last Spider-Man movie, and of course, Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. So, if you're going to play around these different universes, why not? Why not bring those guys back for some fun and bullshit? I mean, because also, if you think of it this way, Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman are also really close friends from all the time that they've been working on the X-Men films. And so you really now I know that Patrick Stewart had said that one of the reasons why he wanted to play the role again in Doctor Strange 2 was because he wanted just to kind of like finish the character. He wanted one more rise the character, a nice cameo, say goodbye, and move on. But then again, Hugh Jackman said the same thing about Wolverine. He wanted Logan to be his last run as Wolverine. He wanted to end for Wolverine there. He was happy to walk away from the character where it ended. But when your buddy Ryan Reynolds calls up and says, "Hey, you want to come put on the claws one more time and just fuck around?" If you're Hugh Jackman and you don't have to carry the movie, it's not all about you. You don't have to put in and he's been working out to get fit again for Wolverine. I don't know if you guys have seen some of the pictures of him out there hitting the gym.
Yeah, I've seen some.
He's back to Wolverine shape, son. It didn't take much work. I mean, that guy lifted weights for a couple of days and he was fucking ripped again.
Well,
but I mean, why? I mean, how would all these guys? If Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart called Ian McKellen and said, "Hey, come to this movie, let's have some fun." For these guys to be like, you know what? This is one of the characters I've been most known for the last 20 years. Why not go have some more fun with it? I mean, these guys are towards the end of their careers. I mean, I hate to think of it in these terms. They're probably closer to the end of their lives. Why not just go out there and enjoy this shit? Why not do this for fun? And that's the opportunity that you're being given with this Deadpool 3 movie. I don't know.
If they bring back Patrick Stewart and Deadpool doesn't make a joke of, Jesus Christ, how many times are you going to die, or do I have to kill you myself, or something of the sort?
Yeah,
because that's right. I mean, come on, have something be like, didn't you just die 2 years ago or something? Whatever.
Or he looks at fucking Wolverine. He's like, didn't he kill you, or a clone of him?
Right.
Something.
Right. Which timeline are we in? I saw you die in 2006 or 2006 or whatever. Obviously the names are there, the star power, and if Marvel's just going to play fast and loose with the continuity, because why the hell not? You might as well bring them all back. Bring back the chick that played, Jean Grey. She was cool. Bring back Cyclops. I mean, go nuts with it. Yeah, Famke Janssen. Yeah, go crazy with it. Bring back the newer cast of the X-Men to have them interact like they did in Days of Future Past.
I was thinking that, yeah, Days of Future Past kind of vibe.
On. I mean, that was probably my favorite of all the X-Men movies. Yeah, I mean, I really like Days of Future Past. I thought it was cool.
I did too.
But if they're gonna bring him back, hey, it's gonna make money, so why not?
One big hoorah! Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot about this I find interesting. Look, for one, as far as like the original story of casting, why am I drawing a blank in her damn name? Emma Corrin. Look, for one, I'm a big fan of The Crown. I love that show. I'm kind of a little bit of an Anglophile, so I'm interested in the British royal family and how it all works. I thought she was fantastic in her season. She played the younger Princess Diana that would eventually
she's Princess Diana, man.
That would eventually fall in love with and marry then Prince Charles. But I mean, as that season went on, she got better and better, because she's playing Diana from like that youthful kid, essentially that teenage girl that met Charles, to the one who would eventually become Princess Di. And her arc in that series was fantastic. I mean, the growth of her from one stage of that life to another was amazing. I love the way she portrayed it. So she's got some acting chops. Look, I'm interested in her being in this, but again, I feel like if she's gonna be a villain, and I feel like it needs to be one of the more obscure things, because that's kind of where the bread and butter has been for Deadpool since it came into being. Because I mean, they use Colossus, which is kind of known from the X-Men stuff early on, but Colossus was never a big part of the X-Men movies on Fox. They Negasonic Teenage Warhead was kind of an amalgamation of a couple of characters, as I recall. Not really a straight up incarnation of anything from the comics or anything, but kind of an obscure character that they've never really messed with in live action. Maybe a little bit in animation, so not really a big character. I mean, the Ajax character was kind of a fun thing. Not really kind of.
I do hope that they bring back Juggernaut, because he was always my favorite mutant. And I mean, obviously, what happened to him happened to him in Deadpool too. But hey, if everybody else can come back, so can Juggernaut. Why not, right? So
yeah,
I would like to see him back.
He'll bring the white pants this time.
But yeah, so I'm interested in this. But I mean, there's a whole lot that's going to go on in this movie that I'm kind of interested in. And Emma Corrin, I think, is probably, look, she brings a little bit of dignity, a little bit of class, certainly a high level of beauty to a role that Ryan Reynolds isn't beautiful in this movie. He looks like a topographical map of Utah.
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't know. It's interesting to me. I mean, like I said, you're going to go all kinds of different directions with this and be kind of crazy with it. Cast all kinds of people you would like, names like hers, where you would look at it and be like, really, her? Doesn't she do like classy shit? Like the piano, the crying game. It's like, doesn't she do classier shit than Deadpool?
Maybe Deadpool will he'll make a Princess Diana joke. I hope.
Maybe.
Oh, that'd be so good. Oh, that'd be so good.
If he does some shit and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry to drop your crown, princess." You know, she's like kicking her ass. I don't know.
That would be kind of funny. But go down in the comments though. Let us know what you guys think. Emma Corrin being cast in Deadpool 3. I'm interested. But then again, there's been a lot of news that's come out about this the last couple of days that's got me kind of interested. Patrick Stewart potentially coming back. Ian McKellen potentially coming back. I don't know. It's there's a lot that's going to be happening in this movie, and I think they start filming it very soon if they haven't already. I know they film it this year at some point. But go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think. And now on to our next story, which is basically what we're going to be talking about for the rest of the show.
Okay.
And that, my friends, trailers.
Oh, yeah.
Now, for many years, the Super Bowl hasn't been just about the game. It's also about the commercials. From the famous Budweiser Clydesdales to Puppy Monkey Baby, the NFL Championship has, for decades, been an opportunity to display ads that have made us laugh and sometimes cry. But the big game is also known as a huge opportunity to drop some of the biggest movie trailers. And this year was no different, as we saw new trailers from Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Indiana Jones 5, and the first full trailer for The Flash, as well as some others. Now, I feel like the best thing that we can do right now is just kind of go down them one by one. We're going to talk about the three most important ones that came out. One that I really thought we were going to get and we didn't. It really pissed me off. I mean, I watched the post-game show hoping that this stuff was going to come out, and it didn't happen. And then, a couple of them that came out. This one's kind of weird. There was a couple that came out a couple days before the Super Bowl, and then a couple that came out like they were new trailers, but I mean, we had gotten trailers for them recently in the weeks prior, so they weren't really highly anticipated like some of the other ones. So we're going to break these down one at a time. Let's start with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That trailer I thought was really interesting because most of the trailer, it seems like they find Gamora early on in the movie, and then a lot of the movie, at least a lot of the trailer anyway, it just shows a lot of back and forth between Star-Lord and Gamora, so she's in a lot of the trailer, which leads me to believe that they're going to find each other again very early on in this last movie. I don't know. Jeremy, what did you think about the Super Bowl trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3?
Don't know. Didn't watch it.
What?
Oh, wait. Let me back up. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Never watched Guardians. Sorry.
All the shit that we talk about movies, you haven't seen half the Marvel shit.
Right, because I really need to see Guardians to understand the whole entirety of Marvel. That's not
even me, who's not a Marvel guy. I've seen every or both Guardians movies somehow. That surprises me. It's crazy.
Sorry.
Well, I'll move on to Tex then, since Jeremy has no idea what we're talking about.
I know who they are. I even know who Star-Lord is. International Bounty Hunter.
Who?
But yeah. Star-Lord, man.
Well, Tex, you saw the trailer. What did you think of it?
Well, it was a well-made trailer. I mean, obviously you expect that from Marvel, especially at Super Bowl time. This is the Return of the Jedi of these films, and we know that this is at least the last one that James Gunn is doing. So it's going to be kind of a wrap-up to his version of Guardians as we know them. They played kind of heavy with the dramatic side. Is Rocket going to die? Is Drax going to eat it because you see a big, chest wound, bleeding out. Does Star-Lord, die? They're building up the romantic angle between Star-Lord and who's the blue chick? I can't remember her name.
Nebula.
Nebula. Yeah, they kind of play loose with that. Now, one thing I did notice when they bring up the when Star-Lord is talking to Gamora and Nebula's, they're like, oh, well, you have more in common with Nebula than you do me or whatever. And then when Star-Lord kind of gazingly looks at her, that scene reminded me of when Thor was staring at Star-Lord in the Thor Love and Thunder trailer. I'm like, wait a minute, that's the same stare. That's the same look that they're doing there. So I don't know if that was intentional or just, that was just me. I don't know. But I thought it was, it was done well. It was a Super Bowl trailer, and it's a Marvel movie. It'll make its money, and, we'll see who dies. Now, the one thing that I liked the most was the end scene where Star-Lord and Groot are back-to-back shooting guns at the end, and Groot somehow now has 4 arms with 4 guns. Like, I want to see that scene.
They had a little Mr. and Mrs. Smith moment where they were back-to-back.
Right, yeah. That was probably my favorite moment of the trailer. But, like I said, it's a well-done Marvel trailer. I expect nothing less with the money and the people behind it. So, yeah.
I feel like it'd be kind of weird if you killed off Star-Lord already, if we're already bringing back Gamora and we're having him have, he's having a little side-eye at Nebula. So that feels kind of weird.
Just go watch the trailer. Well, it's not done serious. It's done in a comedic way. But I mean, if you watch the trailer, you know what you'd see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty funny trailer. I mean, it didn't blow me away. At this point, when it comes to Marvel, it's like very little of the trailers blows me away. I just want to see the movie because at this point, I kind of expect Marvel to do something outrageous. Matter of fact, Don't Die on Me in the chat says just got back from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Don't spoil anything. I may go see it tomorrow morning. That's where I'm at in my head. I may go see it.
Put a 1 in the chat if the Fantastic Four show up. Just so I'll know.
Don't do that. Don't spoil shit. But yeah, like I said, it was intriguing to me that Gamora is in so much of the trailer because I really thought that a lot of this movie was going to be about the journey to find her again. But the fact that she's in so much of the trailer, I was like, okay, do they find her early? And the movie's mostly about them trying to reconnect. But then again, at the same time, it seems like they're going to go a lot into the origin story of Rocket, which I find kind of interesting. I mean, because they have the High Evolutionary played by the black guy. What's his name from Peacemaker? I forget his name. But I loved him in Peacemaker. But yeah, I think it's gonna center a lot around that, and of course, whatever their particular mission is for this film. It doesn't really make it clear in this trailer, which is just fine by me. But it's gonna be pretty much what we expect from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's gonna be some pretty cool action. I'm interested to see how this does kind of give us hints as to what's coming in the larger MCU. Because while this may be, of course, the last outing for this group anyway of Guardians of the Galaxy, and maybe even for all of or most of these actors in the MCU as a whole, it certainly isn't the last MCU movie that's going to come out, and they are deep into the cosmic and celestial stuff of the storyline now in the MCU. So this is obviously going to have some kind of an impact on what comes next, or what comes in the future, rather. So I'm interested in that too. So I don't know. I thought it was a good trailer. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Was I over the moon? Not really. I mean, it was kind of a typical Marvel trailer.
You wait until the Awesome Mix Volume 3 comes out, and then you might change your mind. That's what I'm waiting on.
Yeah, it's basically like any 80s musical greatest hits album.
Pretty much. That's what those are, yeah.
But yeah, it was a good trailer. I liked it. I thought it was fun. Again, it left me with a few questions. Also, I'm not going to lie, and I've been seeing some people kind of smash him on this. I don't like Nebula's look. I just don't. That whole
it kind of
thing in the
kind
belt
of fits the weird vibe of like their, I don't know.
Yeah, but I liked her kind of being in a uniform and not so cash.
But isn't it kind of just hilarious as someone who's just as straight faced and serious as she is, just rocking a double belt and a t-shirt? Like, it's kind of funny.
Well,
I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. It just doesn't look right to me.
Even Drax, like Dave Bautista, he looks bloated in this movie. He doesn't look like Drax from before. It's like, oh, I'm just not going to work out, and I'm going to wear a coat the whole time. Like, even his face looks puffy in this time as the role. maybe that's why he doesn't want to do it anymore. I don't know. He doesn't want to have to do the Hugh Jackman workout and diet for 6 months prior to filming to look like that or whatever. You know what I mean? But I mean, I don't know.
He was too busy trying to save the world in the Shyamalan movie. He ain't worried about that shit.
I actually watched that movie over the weekend, and not bad. It's worth talking about it at a future date, but it's better than I expected it to be.
Is it one of those that like you watch the entire movie and then the last 2 seconds it throws you a middle finger and then you're like, wow, I wasted my time?
No, the cabin, it was simpler than I expected it to be, and I think that was the twist that he was going for.
Oh, okay.
Like, because the whole time I'm sitting there watching it, waiting for a big twist, and by the end of it, for me, the big twist was I was putting the twist on myself, kind of thing. But it was interesting.
Yeah, but I don't know. I thought it was a good enough trailer. Like I said, at this point, the Marvel movies, I don't need a trailer. Just put the movie out. I mean, the trailers are they're just cock teases anyway. I know.
And Feige, he trusts after all. Remember.
Yeah, I know what I'm getting from Marvel. I mean, you've really got to screw up for me not to like a Marvel movie. And it's like, and Phase 4 has not been the greatest by any stretch of the imagination, but the movies have all been enjoyable at their own level. You know what I mean? Like, well, except for Thor: Love and Thunder, I thought that movie was a big time miss.
Except for Thor, except for She-Hulk.
Yeah,
just keep going down the list here.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've got qualities. They just haven't been up to the level that I expect from Marvel. You know what I mean? But when you're playing the game at that level for 20-something movies in 12 years, when you slip, your slips look a lot worse. I mean, it's still better than most everything DC's put out, except for a couple of things.
Oh, that's a low shot.
We are in a reforming stage, sir. And I will not.
It's a rebuilding season. It's a rebuilding season.
This is our days of future past. Damn it.
But
let us have it.
Yeah, go down in the comments. Let us know what you guys thought of the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer. Now, the next one I want to talk about, look, when these trailers came out on Super Bowl Sunday, I did a short reaction to all of them. And the one that got the biggest amount of views was really surprising to me was Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Yes, sir.
Like, I put those shorts up. I didn't want to do like full trailer reviews because I knew that we were going to be talking about them today. And I wanted to save all the real talk from when we all got together. But it's like, this one got like a couple hundred views where the rest of them got like 20. And I really thought that the Flash trailer, if any of those really popped off, it would have been the video I did about the Flash trailer.
I would have put money on Flash.
But this one blew up, and I was really surprised because look, I liked the trailer that they put out there. I thought it was fun to watch. It didn't really show a whole lot new about the movie. A couple of new scenes, but not really anything outrageous. It still didn't give us too much of the plot, but for some reason, people just really gravitated to this trailer. Look, I'm all for just this movie coming out now. Let's go see it. It comes out eventually. I don't even remember what the release date is for this movie anymore because it seems like it's been in development for 12 years now. But yeah, I mean, I thought it looked very Indiana Jonesy, which to me is pretty cool because the last movie didn't look very Indiana Jonesy at the end. And I'm kind of hoping they bring this character back to ground. Look, Indiana Jones is always at his best when he's fighting Nazis. When you take him away from Nazis is usually when it's usually what, like, Raiders of the Lost Ark, obviously a classic. And then you get Temple of Doom, which he's not fighting Nazis. Still a good movie, I think, for the series, but it didn't quite get the same reaction. And then, of course, you have maybe the greatest of the entire series in The Last Crusade. Fantastic movie. Him, Sean Connery, the whole smash. Fighting Nazis. And then you come up with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, the one movie that we all kind of... That's the weird uncle at the reunion that nobody really wants to talk to. And that was the one, like I said, that so many problems with that movie, how they kind of redefined his character. He was a spy all these years, and we just didn't know it. I don't know. There was a lot that was wrong about that. Again, though, no Nazis. They tried to go with this really existential extraterrestrial thing, and it didn't quite work. So now he's back to fighting Nazis. That gives me a lot of hope that maybe they're just kind of getting back to the core of the character and not trying to make him something he's not. I don't know. Jeremy, you saw the trailer. What do you think?
Well, we're also fighting Nazis in the early 60s now or something, I think.
Well, now There's going to be a lot of flashbacks, and we've already seen some of the de-aging stuff that they've done.
Oh my
I
god!
guess they flashback to that scene where him and his dad were trapped in the burning castle in the Last Crusade. So they've done some de-aging stuff to go back. So there's going to be some flashbacks, maybe some memories of him. But this character, while he's not a Nazi in this particular movie, is rooted in the whole Nazi thing that happened during World War II when he was doing all the stuff that we saw in the other movies. And apparently, from what I've seen, he actually has a history with Indiana Jones. Like they met at some point over.
Yeah, because does he like, aren't you still a Nazi? I'm like, oh shit, who is this guy? Whoa.
Yeah, so we're getting back to the good Indiana Jones stuff, where the character tends to thrive.
And you got the kind of goofy stuff, like when he's in that room, he's like smacking the whip brands, like, yeah, get back, and then they all pull out guns, and he's like, oh crap, and he just drops down. I'm like, that's classic Indiana Jones. I love it. Can't really shoot first in that situation, unfortunately, but it looked like fun. I mean, I'm still like, but what are we doing? I don't know. Like, what's this dial of destiny? What's the whole connection with? I mean, obviously the Nazi thing we can tell from the past movies that like there's a shared history there, but what does this dial of destiny have to do with, you know, this guy or Indy, and like what's the whole thing going on here? And I don't know why he's chasing somebody on this like JFK looking parade route in the middle of downtown New York City or something. I'm like, I don't know. I'm a little confused. Like I said, seeing him, he's in full Indy garb. I'm like, yeah, I get it. Okay. But still kind of curious what the main story is. Not just, I mean, I know we just want to see him punch Nazis, but I don't know. Having some more to look at was nice, and some of that de-aging stuff is wild. I saw someone just de-aged this, that he's in like an interview talking to somebody, and it looks like Harrison Ford from the early '80s. It's insane. And even Harrison Ford himself said it's the most convincing he's ever seen. So that's a
dangerous technology that people are playing with that de-aging stuff.
It's cool, but it is kind of weird.
No, it's cool, but I'm more scared of it than I am like, oh, this is cool. Like, I don't know. That's a whole different podcast, but I don't know.
There's a weird ethical thing with it, but I mean, if you get permission, I mean, what's kind of the harm, really? It's cool.
Well, if they can deep fake as well as they did Harrison Ford in this short trailer, people aren't going to believe anything that they ever see on the internet ever again, because he looks legit like he was standing in some of these scenes. Now, I am curious to see how much of the film he will be de-aged for, because I feel like the longer that they use a de-aged Harrison Ford, the more likely it is that at some point it's not going to look as good and it's going to screw up the movie for a lot of people.
Well, it's like, it's not really him.
Right.
I don't know. It was even though it wasn't really any de-aging thing, it was like with Star Wars, where I'm like, I know Carrie Fisher's gone.
Oh, Carrie Fisher,
really
yeah.
Her. I'm like, I don't know. I was trying to not let that like sit in the back of my head that like I know she's gone. I know this is just reused footage. Right. And that's what it is. What most of it is, though. Like you said, there's some reused footage they use, and then there's some other technical wizardry they do, but. Yeah.
Well,
first it was Photoshop, and now it's deep faking. No, I mean, you can't ever believe anything anymore. It's not fun.
I'm kind of leery about this movie because I've heard rumor on both sides that there is a time travel plot that takes place, and his goddaughter is very important to this story. I've heard, oh, well, that's true or it's not true or whatever. I'm really hoping the story that I've heard from multiple credible sources is not true. And I'm not even going to say it to spread a possible rumor, but
it is called a dial, though. I mean, like a clock.
I want this to be good. I don't want them to ruin this. And I mean, obviously
can't ruin it after Indy 4. I don't think.
Well, no, see, I feel like this is their one chance of redemption for the Indiana Jones character.
This is the days of future past right here.
Right. Because, I mean, Harrison Ford's not getting any younger. And yes, you can de-age as much as you want, but he's not going to be able to make these movies much longer physically. And his looks don't even come into that. You know what I mean? So this is really their one time to either nail it or shit the bed. I think it's going to be either way. So I hope it's good because Harrison Ford deserves it. You know what I mean?
If they manage to retcon Shia LaBeouf, I am all for it.
That's why I'm worried. I've heard there's some retconning that happens, and if so,
that is okay. That's fine.
I don't know. I won't say what I'm thinking. I'm leery.
Bring back Marion. I'm fine with that, but just leave Shia LaBeouf out of it, please.
Oh, I don't think he's coming back. That's not what I'm referring to.
That's what I mean. If you want to get rid of anything, just I'm sorry, man, but
I don't think we have to worry about Shia LaBeouf coming into this movie. I think Mark Hamill might show up before Shia LaBeouf does. I think that's more likely. So I think we're safe. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited, but I'm leery. I mean, I do want to see it though. It looks cool.
Yeah, go down in the comments and let us know what you guys think about the Super Bowl trailer that came out for Indiana Jones Part 5, The Dial of Destiny. I thought it was good, but again, I just want the movie at this point. I mean, it's been so long gestating. I want this to be the ending that Harrison Ford and we all want for this character. Personally, I was just fine with him riding off in the sunset with his dad at the end of the search for the Holy Grail. But whatever. As long as these movies make money, they're going to keep making them. And he's an icon, so why not go back to him when you get a chance? But go down in the comments below, let us know what you guys thought of the trailer. Now, the next one that I want to bring up, look, this is obviously the one that's going to draw the most attention.
Don't tell me.
This trailer was off the fucking chain.
Yeah.
Okay, look, say what you will about Ezra Miller's off-camera stuff. Say what you will about his behavior. Him as Barry Allen and as the Flash has been very, very good. I've really liked him as the character. Again, separating the art from the artist, I really liked him as the character. This movie was supposed to be so much. It was supposed to be a way to reset the DCEU. It was supposed to be a way to try to make right everything that they screwed up in the 8 or 9 years prior with Martha and all the bad decisions, creative decisions they've made. And then the changes happen at DC. We kind of wonder, what is this movie even going to be now? Is it just going to end on a terrible cliffhanger, leave us all blue-balled for what was or what could have been? Now that, Gunn and Safran are taking over and doing different things. Well, when you consider that James Gunn has come out and said that this movie is going to be what he calls a soft reboot or a partial reboot, we don't know what they plan on doing with it. Look, he made his announcements as to what movies are coming down the pipe next, but we still don't know what their exact approach is going to be until we get closer to these movies coming out. It's still a few years away, a couple of years away. So, I mean, obviously, the trailer comes out. We get our first full look at Michael Keaton in the bat suit. You can see right there on the right. Yes. There was all kinds of cool promotional material that came out about it. I really love this particular trailer, this particular poster that came out. I just Flash standing there at the mouth of the Bat Cave with the classic Michael Keaton bat wing over the top. That to me was fantastic. Jeremy, I cannot tell you how much I fangirled out about this trailer.
Oh my God.
Every couple of seconds I was like, holy shit, what is that? Who was that? What? And then I went back and watched the trailer 4 or 5 times in a row because there was just so much to take in. Look, I mean, whatever they plan on doing with this movie, however they plan on using it moving forward, you got to say that as a trailer, this is one of the biggest bombs to drop in a long, long time, especially one that wasn't Marvel. I mean, what are some of the things about this trailer, Jeremy, that stood out to you that really dropped your jaw? Because there was a few things for me.
Fucking Michael Keaton rocking that goddamn bat suit. Just that little cocky little smile. He's like, yeah. He paused. I'm like, do it. He's like, I'm Batman. I'm like, God damn it, yes. I'm like, you don't have to tell me. If that was just the trailer, that's it. You have sold me. That's all you had to say.
I was throwing my money at my computer. I was like, take my money. Give me all the tickets right now.
It's like that thing of the guy where he's got his credit card. He's like, just banging the table. He's like, here. Take it. Oh, God damn. We saw his Batmobile somewhere in the background. And to be fair, the two versions of the Batmobile that were always my favorite was Keaton's and the one from the animated series. Those things are slick as shit. I don't care how impractical it looks. It's Batman. You don't have to explain it. It's like the
that car's like 25 feet long. How are you going to drive that thing anywhere?
He's rich.
He's bad.
He's rich. Yeah, he's rich. Shit. Speaking of him, we even saw Affleck, did we not?
Yes, we did.
So that got me a little bit excited. So I don't this, like it said, that poster with the Batwing, it does say worlds collide. So I mean, maybe that is that bridge between the previous Ben Affleck Batman to whatever this thing with Michael Keaton's going on. Then this is our, this is our Days of Future Past. Like I said, this is the character you do it with, is the Flash, who can do all this stuff. Because that was the thing we kept seeing all that time, was Michael Keaton narrating to him, or narrating, but saying to Barry Allen, like, you can go anywhere at any time, any place. Like, why would you choose this? And because we know he wants to keep his mom alive. And obviously that all goes sideways, because of course it does. You don't meddle with time. There's been enough movies that never works out well. There's always something that goes wrong. But if that's what happened, I mean, hey, you got, oh my God, I don't want to talk about how many times I rewatched that trailer. I still got fucking chills when Keaton walked out and said he was Batman. I don't like Frank was saying with Indiana Jones. I want this movie now. You don't have to say anything else. You just had to say those two words. I was sold.
Yeah, part of me has wondered, with all the fluffing up of this movie, all the fluffy talk from James Gunn about this being one of the best comic book movies ever made. There was part of me that was like, yeah, he's going to say that because he wants to draw people back to DC. Whether
damn it, of course.
Or not. But I saw this trailer and I was like, holy shit, there is so much in here. Now, as I'm watching the trailer, and I don't know if you saw this text the way I did, when Barry is talking to Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne, it seems like that scene was kind of early in the movie, and maybe he went to Bruce and said, hey, I'm thinking about going back in time and saving my mom, since now I can run so fast and I can move through time. And he's like, hey, bro, that's probably not a good idea. Being the voice of reason and wisdom, he's like, hey, bro, probably not a smart thing. And then he eventually does it anyway, of course, because that's what Barry does when when something dumb needs to be done. It's usually Barry Allen that does it. So
didn't listen to the world's greatest detective or anything, Jeez.
So my guess is that while Affleck's in the movie, he's probably not going to be a really significant part of the movie. It's probably just going to be in the first part of the movie where leaving it's a bad idea, and then we're not going to see Affleck again. Maybe we might. I don't know.
I think we get Affleck in the beginning and the end. I think obviously we're going to start in the prime DC world where Affleck is your Batman, and Barry Allen is obviously the Flash. I think that's the scene, because also in the trailer you see where they show the hand and how the ring operates and how it kind of opens up and it does its little thing or whatever. I'm guessing those two scenes happen somewhere near each other, and Bruce is giving it to him, and then he's telling him about wanting to go back in time and the whole thing. Now, because like y'all just said, worlds collide. So I'm guessing at some point he comes back through time and somehow brings Keaton with him. I think at least I'm hoping for this, because I'm more excited for Affleck back than I am Keaton. And I know I'm in the minority on that, probably worldwide. I just love me some Affleck Batman, and I know this is probably the last time I'm getting it. But I really want to see a fight scene with both Batmen on the screen.
I was going to say, if they tussle, oh my God, that's going to be awesome.
Well, they have to have, there's two things I need. I need a stare down moment between both of them where they're both measuring each other up. And then I need them to realize, like, oh crap, we're actually both good guys. So let's go fight Zod, which that leads me to what the next thing I liked about this was Michael Shannon Zod is back. The greatest villain that the DCEU had. Incredible. Like he was, what made him so good was he didn't act like a villain. He acted like, I'm a hero of my people, and I'm doing what's best for them.
Well, he was their version of Thanos. It's like in his mind he was doing the right thing.
Right. So we get Michael Shannon Zod back. We get to go back to Man of Steel, which this is the one big complaint I have about this. We can go back to Man of Steel. We can bring back the Man of Steel villain. We can bring back the terraforming, but we can't bring back the Man of Steel himself, Henry Cavill, for this.
Henry Cavill. But we don't know. We might see him. You never know. Maybe
we might see him, but with all of the shenanigans that they've done to poor Henry Cavill, like you bring back the villain, he's synonymous for fighting. The movie he did it in, except for the main. It's like getting a steak dinner and just getting the sides. You don't even get the steak. Like, what's the point here? But
you get the steak sauce, but no steak.
Right? Yeah. You're giving me a baked potato, but you're leaving the steak in the kitchen. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, this trailer is amazing looking. One of my favorite shots from this, if you pause on the scene where it shows all of the Michael Keaton bat suits, there's one in there that's a blue and gray suit with white eyes.
The 70s one?
Yeah, it's the is that Neil Adam Batman? I forget who drew that version. Either way, but there is a white-eyed Batman suit that's blue and gray that Batman fans have been clamoring for years.
I was gonna say, aesthetically, the blue and gray one is one of my favorites. I love that suit.
I love and even Affleck's suit, where you see him in action. The black has like a bluish tint to it. Now that could just be the coloring of that frame or something. I don't know, but I mean that his bat suit looks weird in this movie. It's got like the hexagonal armor over the thighs and the chest. It looks weird. I mean, I'm gonna wait till I see the film to fairly judge it or whatever. But there was so much good about this movie. It kind of made one thing glaringly obvious for me was the Flash is not even needed in his own movie. Everything that I liked about this, even with two of them, yes, no, the Flash is not even going to be the star of his own film.
I was going to say, Keaton's going to overshadow this whole damn thing, and I'm fine with
You've got Michael Keaton, you've got Ben Affleck, you've got Michael Shannon. Wonder Woman's allegedly in this movie. If you believe the leaks from Funko, where they showed the set where Wonder Woman is in it.
Sure, there
is some big hitters in this movie, and you can't not. Obviously separating the art from the artist, you can do that. But Ezra Miller's elephant is so big, I don't think a Mack truck could move it. I mean, I said this whenever
maybe not a good idea having two of them in there. I don't have to look at his fucking
right. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to go see this movie. I'm trying
to find that shot of all the bat suits.
Okay.
It was on Twitter. Somebody screenshotted a real good copy of it. But I've been kind of debating with myself after the Super Bowl and I watch this stuff. I don't want to support an Ezra Miller movie financially because of, he's a child grooming piece of crap. I've made no bones about that. That doesn't need to be forgotten. But the problem is, Andy Muschietti did so good with this movie, it looks. Anything good that this movie does, he deserves the credit for making. He worked real hard to polish a turd till he got a diamond out of it, it looks like. And, Ezra Miller's just going to be the star that happens to get the success off of it. This goes to Andy Muschietti. It goes to Affleck. It goes to Keaton, Michael Shannon, everybody else that I've already talked about. But I want this movie. I really want to see it because, I got a feeling this is probably the last time you ever see Affleck or Keaton as Batman ever again. Mm-hmm. So, you might want to take it in while you can. So I don't know. There's a lot of epic scenes that I froze to look at closer in detail with this trailer.
We could do some No Way Home type shit, and then for no reason other than to have three of them on screen at once, just throw Christian Bale in there just for a hot second.
Well, that's what don't forget. A couple of days ago, there was credited reports that a former Batman was a former big DC hitter was on set, and a lot of people were saying that it was a Christian Bale Batman. Or was it a George Clooney, or was it Val Kilmer? Everybody was speculating
who it was. He better come in with them bat nipples if it's George Clooney.
Well, let me throw this picture out there real quick. This is one I already had queued up because I'm going to bring this up for Jeremy. Who is the one Batman that actually used the bat cycle? Or the bat pod?
Bat cycle?
Well, Christian Bale?
Yeah. Remember this shot from this trailer?
Yeah, I was seeing like that weird double. It had like two wheels on the front.
That's Affleck.
Look at them little ears. That looks like Affleck.
Yeah, that's Affleck.
The helmet looks like Affleck, but it.
Yeah, I saw that cycle
I couldn't
too,
help
but
the only one that used the bat pod was Christian Bale.
Well,
so I was kind of like,
Pattinson had a motorcycle, but not quite the actual bat pod. Yeah.
They released shots prior to even a trailer coming out of Ben Affleck's Batman. You know, it was obviously the stunt double, but it was the Affleck suit that we got in the trailer. That's his version of the Batpod where it's got both wheels in front, which is weird, but whatever.
Well, what did it? Well, no. His Batmobile had 4. No, did it have 4 wheels?
Or no, not the Batmobile, but the Batcycle, the Batpod.
No, I know, but I'm saying like I'm thinking of Christian Bale's because his came out of the car. So like,
well, yeah,
I'm trying to remember.
His Batmobile had 4 tires in the back, 2 in the front, but the 2 in the front became the front and the back tire for his Batpod.
Yeah.
In the Dark Knight, whenever it separates, like I believe the passenger
folded in half, like it folded out like that and went.
I want to say the passenger side tire kicks back and becomes the rear tire of the bike whenever he takes off or whatever.
Oh, that's sexy ass pose right there.
Like that looks so cool, but look at that art. Like the bat suit in Batman v Superman.
Is this the suit you were talking about?
Yes, that's the one. That's like if you look at the chest and the thighs, it's got like this weird armor over the gray suit. It looks kind of odd.
You know, when you look at it, it does look like his the utility belt's kind of got like a weirdish, almost yellow tinge, like it's supposed to. It is gray. Yeah. You're right. His cowl and cape almost look a weird off blue.
That's what I'm saying. It's got like a blue hue to it, and I don't know if that's like in the lighting within the scene or that it's got that look. Like they didn't want to go full blue, and they just gave it like a blue highlight to it.
That shot he had of the back of his cape and cowl on the Batcycle, it still looked kind of bluish. And that's like, well, I mean, like this shot, it's like in the middle of the day. It still looked kind of like a weird blue tinge. I don't know what's going on with that weird armor, but like, I mean,
yeah, the armor. Like I said, I mean, if you just
Batman,
I mean, ideally, take the Batman v Superman suit, the gray look to it, and then put a blue cowl and gloves with it, and that's to me would be the best look. But I mean, given what this is,
because he's got the Dark Knight Returns. The Dark Knight Returns type one with the really big bat symbol in the center.
Yeah, with the wide bat. Yeah, I love that bat logo. It's my favorite.
That's a good one.
I don't know. There's a lot to unpack with this movie. This is one of those movies I hope is over 2 hours long.
What's up?
Could this potentially be Thomas Wayne?
I don't think so.
Be Thomas Wayne?
That's not his bat logo. That's not his bat logo. Thomas Wayne Batman had red eyes, had a red circle on his chest with the bat logo over it, and it has hooks on the shoulders.
Direct adaptation of a comic book.
Yeah, but I feel like if you're
direct adaptation of a,
I feel like if you're going to do Thomas Wayne, though, you're going to go all the way and give him the character aesthetic looks of him, at least, though.
I don't know.
I mean, because remember, that's one of the things that happens in Flashpoint is that, or in the comic book anyway. And again, not a direct adaptation, but that's one of the things that happens in the comic book is that Flash goes back in time. And one of the things that happened is that Thomas Wayne is the one that survives that night in the alley, whereas Bruce and Martha were killed. So
yeah, but in this,
the mom became the Joker.
The reason that they have Michael Keaton Batman in this is he's taking the place of Thomas Wayne Batman, though. It seems like, anyways. Like instead of doing Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Go ahead.
Yeah, but if you're talking about things just getting all screwed up, who the hell knows? I mean, are they doing their own? Well, are they doing a multiverse thing on their own? Or, I mean, what's
okay. If Ben Affleck Batman is prime Batman here, and we're going to go back in time or through time, not back, but through time, and he runs into Michael Keaton Batman, don't you think he would have to go back through time again to get to somewhere where there's a third Batman that we don't see, which is completely possible. I mean, you don't write anything off, but I think that's the Ben Affleck Batman, because we've seen that suit in prior to where anything coming out. It's clearly the Batfleck logo on the chest, and it's in that world, but we didn't see Affleck in it, just for argument's sake. I do think it's Bruce Wayne, though. I don't think it's Thomas Wayne.
And whatever world this or whatever version this apparently is, like you said, Barry said his mom's alive is the one that Keaton's Batman.
Right.
So I don't know, and it's obviously it might be again Keaton's Batman at a later age. I don't know.
Well,
he still fills out that suit really well. That's what I'm just saying. That it doesn't look like he's any older. Just dear God.
Well,
he's kind of playing the Tobey Maguire of this movie. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
This is either going to be, like James Gunn said, one of the greatest comic book movies, or probably the most disappointing comic book movies of all time, depending on how it's executed and took by fans. Because, I mean, they brought back Keaton, and obviously we know what happened with Batgirl, them bringing him back. That we'll never see that until it gets leaked out in 20 years. You know, so this could either be great or it's going to be, good God, why did we do this? And I feel like this is going to be a very convoluted story. That's why I said this needs to be one of those 2.5 hour movies to fully flesh this thing out.
Yeah.
They don't need to rush this thing. There's too much here.
The meme that I saw, of course, because people were memeing the crap out of this. It's that little shot of Batman with that little smile and said, with enough prep time, Batman can make you forget all about Ezra Miller being a child grooming piece of shit. I was like, ooh, we're taking swings already.
That's a meme right there. That's a bold strategy copy. But
that was a good one. Because I was thinking that too. I'm just like, nope. My only thing that I was attached to in this fucking trailer was, oh my God, Keaton Batman, Keaton Mobile. Well, holy shit!
I got a feeling you're going to get more Batman than Flash in this movie. I would almost bet money on it. Oh, I am too. That's why I said I think it's funny. The Flash isn't even going to be the star of the Flash movie because you got 2 Batman and plus a Wonder Woman and Zod. You know, come on.
We got more Batman and Thor. I mean,
but as far as we know, they've cut all the Wonder Woman cameo out. That's what I've heard.
Did they?
Yes, I heard that they cut out the Wonder Woman cameo, the Superman cameo, because they obviously once Safran and Gunn took over, everything was going to change. So they probably didn't want to make a lot of promises in this movie that they had no intention of keeping, or promises that were made by the administration before these two that the incoming administration has no intention of keeping. Or they don't feel obligated to keep for whatever reason. They shouldn't.
But you still have Supergirl, though. Supergirl was all over this trailer.
Yeah, which is interesting. But, I mean, you could have, like I said, having Affleck in there as Bruce Wayne early on in the movie, telling Barry that what he's thinking about doing is a terrible idea, then Barry, his dumbass self, doing it anyway, that makes perfect sense. And if that's the only way if that's the only time that we see the Ben Affleck Bruce Wayne, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But if he was going to be in there more as Batman and they cut that stuff out, that makes sense. Henry Cavill, I still think there's an outside shot that they're pulling our chain and then Henry Cavill could potentially be coming back. Right. Maybe not immediately, but somewhere down the line. It's a shaky 10% chance for me, but I still think it's unlikely. But if they're not going to move forward with him, obviously cutting him out makes more sense. They haven't exactly said that Gal Gadot is done as Wonder Woman. They just said that the script that was turned in by Patty Jenkins didn't fit in with what they're doing moving forward. So I would imagine that they're okay with keeping Gal Gadot, with even Patty Jenkins staying on as director and writing the thing. They just said that her script that she brought to them didn't work for their direction, so they wanted like a page 1 rewrite. So I mean, it's possible she goes back, but I mean, I don't know exactly who all is going to be in this movie, so it's hard to tell. So to me, I don't think they can give us a movie where Barry Allen isn't the center. I mean, because you can only make. I mean, yeah, Ben Affleck I think is going to be in it for a few minutes at the beginning. That's probably all we're going to see. Obviously, Michael Keaton's going to be a significant part of the movie. Obviously, there's 2 Barry Allens in this, so you can't really say that he's not going to be a significant part of the movie. There's going to be 2 of them, and yeah, you've got Supergirl, who you're introducing to use more down the line. Or she's just going to be in this movie, or she's going to eventually get her own CW show. Who the hell?
Because James Gunn did say we were doing a Supergirl thing, correct? So
well,
that could be her setup.
I believe he also said that they're recasting Supergirl, though. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to go back and before I sign my name to it. I'm pretty confident that I heard that they're recasting of Supergirl as well with a more traditional role, like more look and character wise than this version. So I don't know. I'm still going under the theory of all bets are off after this movie's over. It's a complete wide open, and they can go however they want. They're not going to stick, or they don't have to stick to anybody or anyone in this film once credits roll, and it's going to be new DCU, new world, gun, saffron universe. You know what I mean?
Well, they've already said, like I said, it's going to be a soft reboot. It's not going to be a total reboot.
Right.
I mean, it's like what
they are planning on keeping certain elements of what has existed in the Snyderverse and using those as building blocks for what they want to do, which I'm not entirely against. I still wish they would have done either state of reboot, but I mean, that's just me. But I don't know. This was a banging ass first trailer, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I really love the other posters that have come out. Have you guys seen them? They're flashy. They're pretty awesome.
They're flashy.
I saw the Keaton one. I haven't seen the other ones.
I'm not too big on the Supergirl one. I think it's a little too dark. I like the darkness for the Flash because that dark red is this thing. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed or not. I don't know if you guys.
Where's the freaking Affleck poster? What the hell?
That's why I said I don't think he's going to be a significant part of the movie. I think he's going to be there in the beginning. He's going to tell Barry that he's going to do something dumb. Barry's going to do something dumb, and that's going to be what brings us to the main plot of the movie. But again, this trailer is the one that I really fucking love. Him standing the mouth.
That is sweet.
That is sweet as shit. I want that poster real bad.
Right,
but
I don't like the Flash suit though. I don't like the looks of it. I honestly think that the CW TV show version has a better Flash suit than that weird looking thing that they've made. Hell, I like the Flash suit from Justice League or Batman v Superman better than this Flash suit. I'm not crazy about it. It looks weird and bulky, and I don't like it.
Well, I'll have to see it on screen before I look. What I care about is the movie being good. I'll overlook a lot of shit about the movie's good.
You better hope those two Batmans don't try to throw a fist, and one of them they both say Martha again, and I'm like, God fucking damn it!
I want them to make fun of it. I want one to point at the other one and go, Martha. They'll go,
Martha.
Martha.
Hey, I still say that Martha scene goes deep. I will defend that one. I see the beauty of what they were going for in it, and obviously the comedic is there. Oh well, why'd you say that name? Whatever. I can see that. But I can see what Snyder was going for in doing that. I actually kind of like it. But
I mean, yeah, because they both realize, both of our moms were named Martha.
Maybe I'm one of those weird Zack Snyder cult guys that just buys a hook, line, and sinker. That's totally possible too, and I'm okay with it. So,
I mean, they hadn't really met yet, so he wouldn't have known that, and that's why he's like,
right.
What the hell are you talking about, dude?
Well, I will say it's weird that he said save Martha when he could have said save my mom. Like, is it really that much harder? I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. He probably still would have been like, nah, fuck you. Poke him right in the eye.
Right.
I care about you, man. Right.
But this also, the trailer. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, also, isn't that kind of a nice tie-in, though? Because isn't the way that Bruce Wayne obtains kryptonite is from Green Lantern? So there's
in the comics or what?
Yeah, like the way he gets some of this kryptonite is, he has someone obviously off-world like Green Lantern who can go get it for him for his needs for for whatever.
More often than not, he finds it like either he takes it from Lex Luthor or it's like in Batman v Superman. I don't know. It's found in different ways. Yeah, well, obviously, because when Krypton exploded, asteroids hit Earth from it.
Yeah,
and that's what kryptonite is. But
you only have a finite amount of it. I was like, I'm pretty sure there's like a Green Lantern is a way that there was one like where he made or maybe it was Green Arrow, or he may have given one to Green Arrow, like a kryptonite tipped arrow.
In the Dark Knight Returns, he gives Green Arrow one kryptonite arrow. He says like I had enough to make one of these because in that world, Green Arrow was still a vigilante. He didn't go along with the superhero accords or whatever, and Superman helped arrest him, and he had one arm or whatever. But
so. I was just like, well, there's your tie-in then with the Green Lantern.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's going to be more to talk about as more trailers come out about this. When does this come out? This comes out in May?
It's going to be soon, right?
It should say on that poster with the Batwing and Flash right there, doesn't it?
Let me go back to the poster.
Yeah.
June 16th.
June 10th, 16th, yeah. 16th. There you go.
Yeah, there's
not too long.
More. That's only 4 months away. That's 4 months to the day. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about that one a lot because this is when the marketing is really going to start to ramp up. I understand how they wanted to take the marketing kind of slowly, given everything surrounding Ezra Miller, off camera and off set. But now the marketing is going to have to ramp up because this is about the time where you would start doing it for a movie this size anyway. So there's going to be a couple of trailers coming down the pipe here in the next probably 6 weeks or so. We're going to get, I think the next 6 weeks we're going to get another big one. Probably about another 6 weeks from now. I don't know where they're going to decide to drop it since there's another Super Bowl in the next 6 weeks, but it's going to be pretty interesting. But go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys thought of the trailer for The Flash. That movie was looking pretty dope to me. I really think that James Gunn telling us the truth. This movie is going to be something pretty special. But there were a couple other trailers I wanted to point out. They came out. So the one that came out actually a couple of days before the Super Bowl, I thought was odd the timing, but it did come out. Was the Fast X trailer? I don't know if you guys saw that one or not. I'm not gonna lie. I have zero interest in this franchise now, but I'm not gonna lie. The trailer was actually pretty good.
I saw Vin Diesel, it was on like a TikTok or something, like Vin Diesel talking about like they're gonna go back to the roots of like it being about racing and shit like that. I'm like, okay, that's cool. You should have done that maybe about 7 movies ago, or stayed in that. You should have stayed in that lane. I'm going to use that pun unironically.
Instead of,
but I don't know. I don't really care anymore. I haven't cared since Tokyo Drift. And even though I didn't see the other movies, I probably wouldn't have even cared after Paul Walker died. So I don't know. I guess you're kind of going. I was going to try and say full donut, whatever. You went full circle back to racing, but it would feel kind of weird. Sorry, it would feel kind of weird if you went from international super spy, outer space, Jason X crap to fucking. Oh, we're gonna go back to the streets. I'm like, all right, weird flex, dude, but okay.
Well, once you've been to space, the only place is there's literally nowhere up but down. Like you literally went as high as you can. So it's if you're gonna go forward, you have to do something. Unless you go to like Mars or something. I don't know. I didn't even know that they released a trailer yet. I've been busy over the weekend, but hey, I'm gonna go check it out as soon as I get off of here. The Fast and Furious films are like the Mila Jovovich Resident Evil movies for me. I always enjoyed them. And I know they're not great movies. They're stupid popcorn films.
Yeah.
I like the Fast and Furious films. Now, the first one is my favorite, obviously. And then there's others, some of the later ones are okay. But once you started parachuting, muscle cars and driving on top of skyscrapers, you kind of like, once you had a car defeat a submarine, I'm like, okay, I think we've gone too far here. But that being said, hey.
How many times has Michelle Rodriguez died now and come back? I don't know anymore. Who's keeping track?
Han came back. I've seen reports that Gal Gadot's character is apparently back in this movie too.
Yeah, who
and she died.
Yeah.
It would actually be a fun podcast to compare X-Men versus Fast and Furious timelines and whose is worse. Trying to explain those. That would actually be fun to sit there and watch somebody do. That would be fun to see.
But you have superheroes who can do that kind of thing. These are just cars that go fast.
No. Their superpower is family and NOS, okay? That's the only superpower that they need. All right? So
next trailer.
They've got pipe wrenches and family and fried chicken dinners, by God. What else do you need to do?
And grandma, apparently. He was talking about he's bringing in the abuela. I'm like, okay, now that's kind of cool. You got grandma in here kicking ass. I'm cool with that, but I don't.
Right.
And it's Rita Morero too, which I thought was kind of cool. She was
now
role originally in West Side Story, and she was actually in the newer West Side Story as in kind of a cameo role as well. But
is The Rock in this? Because I know him and Vin Diesel have their big beef or whatever. Because he's doing the Hobbs and Shaw. Who?
John Cena.
Oh well, yeah, I knew he was coming back. I knew Rock was doing the Hobbs and Shaw movies, but I don't know if he was coming back for Fast.
I don't think he's doing the Hobbs and Shaw movie either.
Hell no.
Really?
From what I've heard, The Rock's done with this entire franchise.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind that. All right.
Well, I mean, because I think he wanted to do another Hobbs and Shaw, but I don't know. There was like a bunch of creative stuff going back and forth. Vin Diesel's still technically a producer because he kind of runs the whole thing anyway. At least he acts like he does.
Right.
And I guess they were trying to wrangle him into making another appearance in a Fast and Furious movie to get to do another Hobbs and Shaw film. He was like, "No, I'm good. I just want to do more Hobbs and Shaw." I mean, if you think about it, he doesn't have now. All this was before the relative bomb that was Black Adam. So I mean, at the time, he's like, "Yeah, I got this big DC. I'm running a DC superhero movie. Why the fuck do I need the Fast and the Furious shit anymore?" But that was post Black Adam bomb. But still, I mean, The Rock doesn't need this franchise. The franchise needs The Rock, and The Rock needs the franchise, and he knows it. He's not dumb.
You know, he's got 50 other offers to do generic action movie just like Fast and Furious right now. So he's not hurting for work if he wanted it.
You know what? The cars went to space. You should have just put Elon Musk in the next movie. Like he said, they're going to Mars. Fuck it, we're going to Mars in a Tesla. I don't care.
To the moon. There you go.
Arrow in space. Top of that one.
Tweet that, bitch. Hashtag family.
But I mean, again, the trailer was good. Here's what I liked about the trailer. For one, I like the idea that they're grounding it again, literally and figuratively. that they're getting it back to like the ground level stuff. Because I know a lot of people think that the movies got better as they went on. I just think it's stupid. It's like, but here's what I liked about this trailer is they're getting back to the last really good Fast and the Furious movie, the one in Brazil, where, yeah, I know it was kind of silly them dragging that giant fucking bank vault through the streets of Rio de Janeiro with a couple of muscle cars. I got it, but they're attaching it to that story because fucking Aquaman, Jason Momoa look dope as shit in this trailer. And they've actually gone through and re-edited some scenes from that movie to put Jason Momoa in them because in this movie he's playing the son of the guy that they ended up screwing over in that movie. So he's out for his revenge. So they're bringing it back down to the kind of the level of what made these movies good to begin with. That's what's kind of promising to me. No more of this shit swinging cars around fucking chasms onto airplanes, 30,000 feet in the sky. And then no more of this uber ridiculous. Not even James Bond would have tried this stupid bullshit nonsense.
So you're telling me in Fast and Furious 11, Jason Momoa will be on the good guy side because that's how it always works in this franchise.
I hope not. I hope he dies in this movie. A horrible, awesome CGI.
Well, if he dies, then he can just come back and do like, oh yeah, he didn't die, and everybody's like, okay, and they go on about their day.
You know,
like I said, Michelle Rodriguez has done it.
I expect that from these movies, though. Not that I like it. I just expect it from these movies. Kind of like we expect guys to die in the MCU and come back. I mean, it's happened with everybody but like one. So
you might have Infinity Stones, but family is still stronger. The family stone is the strongest.
Yeah.
But also, I noticed there was some Brie Larson in this trailer, but there wasn't a whole lot of Brie Larson in this trailer. She's really in like 2 quick scenes in the trailer. So I wonder if maybe that she's not going to be as big a role as some people thought. I mean, sure, she's going to be in it. She's apparently playing Brian's sister, which I think is odd. But, I mean, you've already got...
Just don't let her do press. She's horrible at press. Keep her away from reporters. She's horrible.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that they didn't really showcase her the way they showcased Jason Momoa. And I was really interested to see John Cena in the trailer. I figured that if he's going to be a big part of the movie, it makes sense to put him in the trailer. But part of me thinks that maybe he's just going to come in like late in the second or in the third act and kind of be somebody who comes in at the last second to help out Dom, which again is kind of silly because you fight him in this movie and then the rest of the franchise, he's your friend. But
that's the way it goes.
But I thought it was funny that he got so much screen time in the trailer as well. But yeah, I mean, the idea of bringing it back down to earth, literally, and making it about this personal vendetta between Jason Momoa's character and Dom and his crew, I think that's going to make this a much better movie than flying Fieros to the International Space Station and, driving on ice and driving tanks on ice to shoot submarines. It got too ridiculous. It got too wild for me. Bring it back to center a little bit, I think is going to be a lot better.
I'm still not going to watch it, but whatever.
Yeah, but
if somehow they could just tie into the Back to the Future and get a freaking DeLorean, that would just make these movies so great.
No, because then they're actually going to travel through time, and I don't want them to open up a whole other fucking aspect of this goddamn
movie. You see,
at the end of the time of the first movie.
That's at least 7 more movies, and I don't want any more of these fucking movies.
At the end of this movie, Dom pulls up to like a street race, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, you don't want to challenge this guy. He's dangerous." And Dom's like, "I've got family. I can handle it." And then you see Doc Brown step out of the freaking DeLorean. Come on. You wouldn't love that? That would be great. He'd be like, 1.21 gigawatts, motherfucker. Let's go.
Like, when you got into the hood of that thing, he's like, "Hey, 1.21 gigawatts. Great Scott."
I'm going to get 30 years out of this bitch. Woo!
I mean, why not? If you're flying cars in space, time travel should not be a problem. I mean, hey, why not? Right?
The car was hover converted. They can fly too.
That's what I'm saying.
I just want him to look over at Dom and be like, when this baby hits 88 miles an hour, you're going to see some serious shit.
Oh, God.
Oh, and they have to do
Hollywood.
They have to do the whole "I live my life 1/4 mile at a time," and then Doc Brown looks over. Where we're going, we don't need roads. And boom, they're off. And then you go.
Just flip the glasses down, like
Oh,
he's loading up Mr. Fusion and fucking getting ready and shit.
But that was the Fast 10 trailer that actually, like I said, it actually came out Friday, a couple days before the Super Bowl. The other one that came out with the new trailer for John Wick 4, Jeremy. I mean, I'm sure you may have seen this one. Again, a little bit of new footage, not a whole lot, not a whole lot more news about the plot. We basically know what the plot is. John Wick's got to challenge somebody to get himself off of every hitman on the planet's shit list. But still a good trailer. I mean, I'm not any more or less excited to see the movie. I mean, it was a good trailer, but again, I just want to see the movie. Jeremy, what do you think of the trailer for John Wick 4?
Yeah, holy crap! Because I mean, this series just keeps expanding and making this world bigger and bigger, and it just keeps getting wilder. I mean, my God, so there's just like this cool. It's almost like a dance, just watching this shit happen. I mean, even when he's got a gun shoved on someone's neck and he shoots like 4 bullets through his fucking skull. I'm like, guys, he's dead. Damn, John. I know they killed your dog, but fuck. They even gave you like a dude in a headlock, and he's managing to sit there and just reload his gun while he's headlocking this guy, and then kills him. It's pretty cool. I mean, at least Lawrence Fishburne was in it. That was pretty sweet. So that gives me some hope. I was hoping we'd see him again. There was a dog. Again, a different dog. I know it was a different dog, and I'm like, it was one dog. I don't know if it was Halle Berry's dog, but like,
I thought somebody get that job a flak jacket just in case.
I thought it was the same dog, just the dog was more adult. Because the last time he got the dog at the end of the first movie, but he was just a puppy, right?
The pit bull.
The one he got at the end of the first movie from the wrestling
the
guy.
Little pit bull. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that dog was just the same dog, just in adult form.
No. The dog we saw in this trailer was like, it looked like Halle Berry's dogs. They were like those little streamlined. They're not shepherds, but they're like, I don't remember what they're called. It was just a single dog. I don't know. I still want to know what happened to John's dog. I still can't get over Winston's line where he's like, you have any words? He's like, no, just have fun. I'm like, yeah, God damn it. Fucking, I love Ian McShane.
Just have fun out there, John.
I love Ian McShane, man. Jesus. I love Winston's character. He's hilarious. I don't know. How did 3 end? Yeah, like he got shot off the roof of the Continental by Winston, right? And then he somehow fell off. I don't know how many stories that building was and did not die, which is I know he's John Wick, but Jesus Christ. Then he hobbles into Lawrence Fishburne's little slice of heaven. And it's because it seemed like they were kind of like 2 guys kind of just scorned at the world, It seemed like, okay, these 2 were going to fight back and kick some ass because they pretty much disfigured the shit out of Lawrence Fishburne. Although he looked pretty articulate in this movie. I don't know. For taking 7 sword slashes to the face, he seemed okay. Yeah, so
if it was 8, he might have been hurt, but 7's not a problem. It is.
Yeah, that was the limit. Yeah, like I said, John's been beat to shit and lost his finger, and I don't know. I love that line where he's like, "I'm pissed off, John. Are you pissed off?" He's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Oh, here we go." So it looks like a fun romp when he fucking like shot a guy and flipped him into a fucking moving car, and it just took him away. I was like, okay, all right. Like in the middle of, where is that? That archway, is that France? I think
the Arc de Triomphe is in Paris. Yeah,
Paris. So some more world checking. I'm fine with that. Let's see what he's doing in Paris. Yeah,
but another one that came out. Look, I I'm interested in this. I love Ben Affleck as a director. I think he's made some fantastic movies. The Town is a phenomenal movie.
The Accountant.
The Accountant was really good too. But there's this movie coming out called Air. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer for this one or not. It's apparently about Nike developing the Air Jordan around Michael Jordan.
I did see that. I didn't know he was making that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Ben Affleck directed movie. Him, Matt Damon getting together again. Usually when these guys get together, they make some pretty good shit.
That's some magic.
And this movie.
Yeah, that trailer was good.
The trailer looked amazing. I mean, it's like, because I knew that there was a story because I was in my teen years when the Air Jordans came out. And so I knew that there was a story behind it all. I had read stuff, but it was so long ago that it just kind of left my mind. But as I was watching this trailer and I was going through all this in my head, I was like, Jesus Christ, this movie looks amazing. It looks like a fantastic film. I mean, Tex, you say you saw the trailer. What do you think of it?
I never thought. There's a line that I'm gonna say twice about trailers we're talking about here, but I never thought I wanted to see about how shoes got made. And when I watched that trailer, like, you see, like, oh, well, I know I'm not supposed to go talk to him, but I'm going to anyways. Like, and you see Matt Damon going in, like, he knows he's in a world of crap, but it might be the greatest thing that he ever does. This is like, what was the McDonald's movie? The Founder? Is that what that was called?
Good movie. Yeah.
This seems like that's going to be on that level of filmmaking, and I'm excited for it because the trailer plays like almost like they're just kind of recreating the live events, a docudrama or whatever it's called. But hey, I didn't know Ben Affleck was making it, but this trailer did look good, and I mean, good cast. Viola Davis, I believe, was the mom, right? Was that who she was playing of Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
So, I mean, big names, good actors, and hey, it's got my boy Affleck behind the camera. I'm down. So,
yeah, I thought that movie looked really, really interesting. Jeremy, did you get a chance to see the trailer? What do you think?
I did not. I didn't know about that. I watched a different trailer about something getting made that was a pretty big damn hit.
Well, that's the other one I was talking about. I'm going to use that line again in a minute. But
I wonder what you're talking about. Something that I knew had a really wild story, to being made. I was like, oh my God, I want to see this movie. I literally just got out of work and that popped up and I was like, what is this?
Yeah,
I sat in the parking lot watching it. I was like, I'm sold. I sent it right to you guys.
Yeah, we'll talk about the trailer here in a second. But one more trailer that came out for the Super Bowl I want to talk about real quick is Creed 3. I love the Creed movies. I was worried at first because I was like, do I want to follow this new character the way that I followed Rocky Balboa through his journey? Right. After I was done with the first Creed, I was like, I am all on board for however many movies they want to make about Adonis. I love Michael B. Jordan, that character. He's personally invested in this character as an actor, and I think it shows the way that these first two movies have gotten made. He's directing this movie as well as starring in it. Ooh. I think it's going to be, if you take the aspects of all the challenges that Rocky faced from individual fighters, they've kind of rolled them all up into Jonathan Majors' character into this movie, and they're going to throw him at Adonis Creed in this movie. And I think that's going to be awesome. I think when you challenge a character at a different level than any way they've ever been challenged before, especially one that we're familiar with, like Adonis Creed, it makes the story that much better. And look, Jonathan Majors, fucking A, that guy he is climbing to the top of the mountain real damn quick. I mean, he's got Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I've heard, and while the movie's been getting some mixed reviews, I've heard a lot of people say that he kicks ass as Kang, that he is devastatingly good. He looks really fucking good in this. I haven't watched it yet, but he was supposedly really good in Lovecraft Country. I know Night Watch Zone and all his crew, they broke down every episode of that and they loved it. It's like, not only that, but he also played the one who remains in season 1 of Loki. But that's what a lot of people first saw him. That was my first real exposure to him. But I mean, I've seen the trailers for this and he looks just brutal. I look, if it's gonna be Michael B. Jordan doing this character that he is so in tune with, and this, what I'm sure is going to be a great performance on the other side. I don't think there's any way this movie is going to miss. It's going to be a hard hitting movie, pun for sure.
It's going to be the all 1-2.
Yeah, that trailer really blew me away. Again, it's one of those movies where I'm just like, I don't need to see more marketing, no more posters. Just give me the movie. I want to see Adonis go through this. But there is one other trailer that dropped today that I want to mention. It's probably the one that Jeremy was about to mention.
Well, I was actually going to mention the Super Mario one because they made a parody off of the old show, and I thought that was fucking perfect. That was just funny. That's just me.
I mean, like I said, it's Super Mario. They're doing it the way it should be done. It's going to be an animated thing. If you're doing it live action, I just don't think it will ever work for that particular game. For other games, it might. For that particular game, I don't think it'll ever work. I think they probably realized that early on when they were making this movie. They were like, we can't do a live action thing. We're going to go ahead and do this animated.
Like Legend of Zelda or like Metroid with like Samus. You could do those live action, but like Mario doesn't really work.
Well, you can do a Legend of Zelda and make it look kind of like this Dungeons and Dragons movie that's being made. Yeah. You can kind of make it look like that because the Sword and Shield stuff is always done. I mean, that genre has always done fairly well in theaters.
Yeah.
So I think there's a little bit of armor that something like Zelda would have. You can just make it a straight up Sword and Shield. Yeah. You can make it a straight up Sword and Shield movie. And those things have a history of doing well. But Mario, no, it's got to be animated to make sense. Yeah. But Jeremy, do you remember? I was saying a long time ago that they were making a movie about Tetris.
I do.
And do you remember me saying, oh my God, that is the worst idea you could possibly come up with? Because
we were in video game world territory. We're like,
what? If you're trying to make a video game movie that doesn't bomb, Tetris might not be the one you want to go to. Did you see the trailer? Did you see the trailer that came out today?
Yes, I'm the one. Like I said, I'm the one who shared it. I got into my car. I just got off work, and I was like, "What is this?" Clicked on it. I sat in the parking lot, watched it, and I was just like, "Oh my fucking God, I want to see this." I sent it to you guys right after that. Then I drove home and I watched it again. I was like,
"Now a lot of this was me making an assumption that when I read they were making a movie about Tetris." That it was going to be a movie about somebody watching blocks fall in just the right way and pattern to where they don't die or whatever. No, there is a... Now, look, again, I knew this story from years and years and years ago in my youth, but it just, over the years, it just got pushed out by all the other bullshit nonsense I've had to deal with over the course of my life. But they're actually making a movie called Tetris about the development of the game by Nintendo and the story of going to Russia to even get this game in the middle of a Cold War.
Yeah, I'm like, you think of the time period? We're in like the 80s at the height of the Cold War. They're trying to go get this game. And whew.
Yeah, I made the very wrong assumption that the game was going to be, the movie would be about the game. No, this is about the story surrounding the game. And I'm not going to lie, this movie looks fucking awesome.
My God! You threw in final countdown and like you went like with the pixels of the blocks falling. I'm like, I want to see this movie tomorrow, like right now.
That was another one where I was just throwing my wallet at my TV. I was like, take my money. I want to see this right now. Look, Taron Egerton's very good. I mean, say what you want about the last Kingsman movie that he was in. I actually like all those movies, but I mean, the first one was definitely...
The Kingsman wasn't a bad movie. It was kind of boring in the beginning. I will say that because I went and saw that at the Christmas that it came out on Christmas Day. But the action, Taron Egerton, he was great in that film. I thought he delivered pretty well. Yeah, I was a fan of it.
Yeah, he's a hell of an actor, and this is a pretty interesting. I was getting Argo vibes when I watched this. Did you guys see Argo? The movie Affleck made about getting the people out of Iran back in the
getting those 13 people out or whatever.
I got a lot of those vibes out of this trailer, and I loved Argo. I thought Argo was a great movie. It got a couple of nominations. I think it actually won Affleck Best Director Oscar, if I recall, or it won Best Screenplay. It won a couple of Oscars, but I got a lot of vibes from that movie out of watching this trailer. So yeah, I was dead wrong. I'm eating way more crow now than I was for the whole Batman casting thing when I was giving them shit on Twitter for that years ago.
Oh my God, I freaked out when he's like, few people have even seen this. Whew, it's a Game Boy. I was like, oh shit, oh no. And he's like, paired that with Tetris, and I'm like, oh, I see it happening. Oh my God. I still have my OG brick Game Boy with Tetris in it. That's a combination. That's like the Super Mario Duck Hunt with the original Nintendo. That's a match made in fucking heaven. And I'm like, I am holding on to it, even though my screen's falling off. It's being held with duct tape. I'll fix it.
Now, okay, question though. I mean, before I ask the question, I love this trailer. I posted in the DM group. I never knew I needed a movie about how Tetris got made until now.
But I want to see it.
How accurate is the events in that trailer to what actually happened, or is this a more beefed up version?
It might be more hyped up, but
I really don't know off the top of my head because, like I said, it's been probably 20 or 30 years since I've.
Because I mean, like how dramatic
in the United States.
It wasn't a lot of story about how it all got done. Because again, you get this. you're in the middle of the Cold War in the 80s here, and you got to get this game from Russia, and you're like, he even says in the trailer, like, he's like, you really
I didn't know it came from Russia.
They hate us?
I had no clue that. I didn't know Tetris. I mean, I'm not a big gamer guy. I had no idea. I just thought it was created in some lab Nintendo owned, and then they slapped it on a video game or whatever.
Did you ever listen to the music and you see the background of the original game? It's that like the onion shape, the Kremlin. Yeah.
Really?
That's why it's that's why it looks like that. And the music.
I don't guess I've ever paid close enough attention to it to even realize it. That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to look into this more, but no, that trailer was fire. I mean, I was like, okay, here's my money. Let's go.
Ends with the guy at Nintendo like, not bad. I'm like, sold.
But I thought that trailer blew me away. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, you got to think about what's going on in the world, too. You're just trying to get this video game out there, but my God, you got to go into the country that hates us the most part at that point.
With the Soviet freaking Union to do it. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. But there was a whole lot of trailers that have come out over the course of the last week. Again, that Tetris trailer really shocked me. I sat down today, turned on a little YouTube to catch up on what was going on in the old YouTube, and that was one of the first things that popped up, and I was like, Tetris. And and Taron Egerton was on the thumbnail, and I'm like, I'm intrigued because I like Taron Egerton. He's been good in a lot of stuff. Eddie the Eagle, all that stuff.
You have my attention, and now you have my curiosity.
So I click on it, and I'm like, this was the fucking Tetris movie they were talking about? I was so wrong.
I thought about that. I was like, after I watched, I'm like, was that what Frank was talking about? Oh my God, we were wrong.
Yeah, I was blown away by that trailer. But yeah, a lot of good trailers have come out over the course of the last couple of days, and there are going to be plenty more coming out. Remember, we've also got Comic-Con coming up in a couple of months, and I would imagine there's going to be another big round of trailers, not to mention big announcements just in the film alone. They're going to be coming out as well. So yeah, we're only a few months away from that. That happens this summer. So yeah, that's our show for tonight. Again, a whole lot of trailers. Rest in peace, Raquel Welch. But a whole lot of stuff, whole lot of trailers. We'll be talking about those more in the coming weeks, of course. Thank you to my amazing co-host for coming to hang out with me tonight. My good friend Jeremy, what do you got going on, sir?
Well, if you notice the change in scenery behind me, I'm obviously not where I usually am. But you can't see what's literally right here to my left and right. I'm actually sitting where she has her PC built, and it's actually built. It works. I know. I think she said she probably sent me the Snapchat. She was probably almost crying because it worked. Because it was scary. She put this whole thing together. It wasn't turning on, like it was turning on, but it wasn't going to the monitor. Nothing. We had somebody look at it. We took it apart a little bit, but like, I don't know, somewhere around midday, she sent me a thing and the screen was on. It was working. It's going. She's ready to download shit. It's all good. Cool. So I know I basically just plugged her thing. Whatever. She also has a friend over. That's why I'm in here and they're out there doing stuff. But that means I was like, well, I can just plot my PlayStation right here, and I'm like, maybe I can actually record stuff. So with this, it's literally I'm touching it. That's that right there. This thing is a monster, so I'm sure can actually get some decent stuff out of it for once, not the janky crap I was doing. So
sweet.
Yeah. So backtrack.
Are you gonna restream Last of Us again on it or something?
That's what I'm saying. Like I'll probably do I might record it, which might be easier. That's where I'll backtrack a slight bit. I'm here Thursdays going over trailers, movies, entertainment stuff, all that good stuff. And I'm also here on Tuesdays or whenever Frank's power decides to not go out. Hey, that's the most apocalyptic thing that could have happened, ironically enough. So we're working our way through The Last of Us at the moment. So next week will be 2 episodes, which, hey, good for all of you. Double shots. So like Tex mentioned, so after the show's over, my plan was, now that this is all set up, I can actually probably run some tests on it, because the last time it was sound issues at the ass, and it was not a good time. I really think it was how I had it set up. It was a really convoluted. So this might be a better setup. I'll play through the first game again, compare notes, and I'll try to give the second game another chance. But I've been seeing a lot of memes because people are going back and playing the game now, and they get to 2 and they get to a certain character, and they're like, that cliff is right there. I could just walk right off the edge of the cliff. Game over. I don't know, man. But if there was, which at this point, if there isn't a third game, I would be really surprised. With this now being kind of the juggernaut of a franchise as it is now, I'd be shocked if they didn't go into making a third game, doing another season of the show, a couple seasons of the show, with the second game and whatnot. So that's what I got going on there. And if I stream, I mean, there's some stuff I could stream that's more streamy type games. Hell, we might even be able to play together because she was looking through Steam. And I was like, there's some games that you have on here that I have that I know are cross-platform. So,
cool.
Yeah, so that could be fun. That's that. I was actually talking to Brilliant Gamer. He had another idea with since I clicked so many damn pops, and we so badly want to do something with. I'm going to climb on my roof, and I'm going to Eddie Munson that shit. So whether we do that for ghost hunts or he says something with pops, since there is that new pop figure coming out of Eddie and Dustin on top of the trailer with some demo bats. Could do a little quick intro for like something that's, related to the pop. Since he's got Jurassic Park ones coming out, we could do some Jurassic Park stuff. I was like, we can do some Last of Us stuff because there's going to be pops of that. So,
I'm sure.
Oh yeah. So just rolling some ideas around. Burning Gamers down in the description. You'll see me popping in and out of here on his stuff, like a little Easter egg cameo type deal. I'll be around.
Hell yeah.
And to our good friend down from Texas, the shape from the Lone Star State. What do you got going on, Tex?
Oh, not much. I'll be seeing Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, possibly movie of the year this week. So look forward to reviews coming soon on that, probably on this channel.
I'll be there.
Don't sound too excited. Like, don't try to contain so you're not overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? I know you can't wait.
Tetris blew me away. I'm sorry. My excitement meter just got blown out.
He blew his load on Tetris. He needs a Gatorade to recoup. He needs to,
Hey, it wasn't the best selling it wasn't the best selling game of all time for the longest time for no reason. All right, until I got beat by.
But yeah, no. Like I said, obviously I'm Winnie the Pooh this week. So whenever Frank wants to do a one shot on that or whatever, I'm sure we'll get on here and do something with that. I guess I'll shout out Casey is Raw because I like to appear over there, and I want to get the credit for him getting attention, not him on his own. So I'm going to just completely cut him out of his own clout. So if you do go over there, be like, hey, Tex sent me. So that way I know I can steal his credit because he doesn't deserve it. It's really me. So, but yeah, go check out Casey is Raw. I hang out there on Fridays and Wednesdays when we're not doing things here. So other than that, that's about it. So.
As for me, you can find me here every Thursday going over all the stuff that is going on in the world of TV, entertainment, streaming, movies, all that good stuff. Movie reviews when they're applicable. We're going to have to talk. Oh, we got a puppy dog sighting, a Buttercup sighting.
Don't make me get my rabbit. I will out cute your dog. Don't make me do it, dude.
But again, since we didn't get a chance because of my power problems, because of Transformers getting blown up. Not in a cool way like in the movies either. No Last of Us review this week, but we will break down episode 5 and 6 next week. Me, Jeremy, and American Werewolf from New Jersey. I think he's expressed some interest in maybe breaking down the rest of the season with us, which is really cool because I really like talking to him. He's a really good guy. His link is in the description also as well, so go check him out. He's got a lot of great videos that he's putting out, different reviews of different movies and stuff. Also, maybe at some point next week, I'm going to coordinate this, everybody. We'll be doing an Ant-Man Quantumania, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania review at some point. I'll have to get it worked out. I should have had this planned like a week and a half ago. I just didn't. But we'll be getting that up at some point as well, too. And like I said, either me and Tex or me and Tex and whoever else wants to join, at some point next week or so, we'll be doing a quick review of Pooh, Blood and Honey. I thought it was a pretty fun movie. It was a good
I can't wait. Slasher. I'm excited for it.
It was a good straight-up slasher. I think you guys will all enjoy it. But thank you all very much for coming out. See you guys again Tuesday. Adios.
See y'all later.